lot of goals out of, but he hasn't scored a goal yet. He's got 4 assists on the tournament, I believe, so that's 4 points. Still playing pretty well. Would you guys like to see him net one?
Well, yeah, obviously, but you know what? Isn't it strange, though, how hockey is? And sometimes you can count on a player to score goals, but yet he's the guy that's setting up the guy that should be setting up him, you know? So in this case, Veleno's got the goals for Detroit, and Zadina is the man with the assist and table setting, so to speak. So, you know, it really doesn't matter how the puck goes in and who throws the puck into the net. It's just that you do it. And, you know, they're going to play a goaltender now in Scott for Toronto. He's been pretty solid, so we'll see how he fares against that Red Wing offense.
Well, and that's a great point, again, by what Ken's making here. If Philip Zadina, before he was drafted, Kenny and I are scouring these scouting reports and all this before the draft, and Zadina always considered himself to be a two-way player, to be a 200-foot player, that he can play offense, he can play defense. And Joe Veleno said, look, I played against him in the Q when he was with Halifax for that 1 year, and his passing and his setup skills are extremely underrated. So he has that talent. With that said, would he like to score a goal? I know, Daniela, you want to see it. Penny wants to see it. I want to see it.
The fans want to see it.
Everybody wants to see
it. No one wants to see it more than Philip Zadina.
Yeah.
And but I do believe, going back to what we said about Ryan Kuffner, even going back to development camp, he had that 10-game audition in Detroit last season, the last 10 games of the year. He didn't get a point. He didn't score a goal. He has been a different player in this tournament, and I think a lot of it had to go back to in development camp, in the red and white scrimmage, and the 3-on-3 tournament. He was scoring some goals. It's all about confidence. Zadina, because he's been on the score sheet now, I think that he is feeling pretty good about his game. He gets a goal, and you almost are hoping that maybe the floodgates start to open and they start going in, because he will score. He proved it at the AHL last year in Grand Rapids. He scores in bunches. He either scores 1 or 2 goals a game, and then he doesn't score any for a while, and then boom, there you go. You know, it kind of reminds me, not the same player, but the way he's been scoring was how Johan Franzen would get really, really hot.
Slava Kozlov used to be the same way.
Hope. I think he would want more consistency. I think the Red Wings would too, but if he starts scoring, I think that puck's going to start going in the net for him more consistently.
Well, one thing being said, they were scoring goals. Whether it was Joe Veleno, Philip Zadina, those two seem to have a chemistry. And that's got to be something that's a positive point for this Red Wings prospects team.
Well, the other thing, too, is you want your scoring not just from only your top 2 lines, but everybody else needs to contribute. And I was really happy that the Red Wings got some goals from their 3rd and 4th lines. And Giovanni Smith, who's been a net front presence on the power play at times, he scored a goal in that last game. So it's good for him to be able to score. Lucas Savages, to me, he's an older player in this prospects tournament. He's, 24, 25 years old, but you know what? He's had chances, and he's put the puck in the net. So there are positive things that can be said about him. So in all, you want to see everybody contributing if they can.
Well, exactly. And now that they're at a level where they're actually playing for something, and you can sit here and you can say, oh, well, yeah, it's just a prospects tournament. But I'm telling you, and Ken knows, there is something about the Red Wings and the Leafs whenever they play a hockey game. I don't care if it's prospects or not. Maybe it's because growing up in Detroit watching Hockey Night in Canada, there was at one time, believe it or not, Daniela, where not every Red Wing game was on television. So I grew up for a portion of my life watching almost as many Leaf games as Red Wing games because of Hockey Night in Canada. So I look at this as Detroit's main rival. You can look at Montreal, Toronto, you can look at Detroit, Chicago. That's all fine and dandy. Maybe it's because Windsor is to the south of Detroit, but there's just something about when these two teams get together. And I think talking to some of the Red Wing players, they could feel it too. So I'm really psyched for this game. I'm looking for something. And again, the Red Wings win this game in regulation. They have to win in regulation. They will play in the championship game tomorrow, and so they want to win this. They want to win this tournament. It's the Red Wings tournament. They're the host of this tournament. This is quote unquote their home rink. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
It is a pretty big game, having a rivalry game just to go to the championship game. So I think it will be a lot of fun tonight, as you said, Art. Let's talk about Toronto for a second here. They've scored a lot of goals in their last 2 games. Ken, who do the Red Wings have to look out for most in this game?
Well, I think there's a forward named Simon Der Arguchintsev, who's it's a tough name to pronounce, but he's a guy that's a point getter for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's been pretty steady in this tournament as well. Hudson Eleniuk, he's a pretty good player too. And then back on the blue line, they got this Timu Kivihalme, who's a pretty good puck-moving defenseman, and we'll keep an eye on him. But overall, they seem like they're a pretty good balanced team. We mentioned the offense of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but you got to give credit to their goaltenders, Zukov and Scott. They've been terrific so far, and the defense have played well in front of them, the goaltenders as well, so far in the first 2 games.
Well, I'd like to see, I think it's Tim Liljegren, who was drafted a couple of years ago, Swedish defenseman for Toronto. He's someone that, first-round pick, has battled the injury bug the last couple of years, so he's healthy. Let's see what he does, because I know when they drafted him that there were some people that's, well, should we have taken him? They're always going to be second guess no matter who you draft. But I hopefully he's healthy. I'd like to see him. He's supposed to have a high skill set, be an offensive dynamo. That's somebody I'm looking at Toronto. And don't forget, the Red Wings, your buddy Romeo, your Buckeye buddy Romeo, is in net again today.
I think he's your Buckeye
the
buddy.
Romeo.
The Romeo, that's exactly right. Sorry, Ken. Touche, my friend. The Romeo is back in net for the Red Wings, so that's rather interesting. But Ben Simon said today after practice, he thought he was great. He thought he was great the game against the Blues. So, who knows? Maybe Mr. Romeo, much like his counterpart in net, Caden Fulcher, who's backing him up, maybe he earns a contract with Detroit. You don't know.
Caden Fulcher wasn't bad, per se, in that Blackhawks matchup either. He had a rough first period, but he was able to help the Red Wings rally back in that one. So I think goaltending has been overall pretty good.
Well, one of the things in this tournament when you get in here is you feel the nerves, especially if you're a goaltender, and you don't want to have a bad period. Well, that's what happened to Caden Fulcher, unfortunately. But what I liked about his play is that he buckled down and really played solid the last 2 periods, and that's really what you're looking for in a lot of these players. When they get rattled, does it hurt them for the rest of the game, or do they dig in deep and turn their game around? And that's what we saw from Caden Fulcher. So, Romeo had a terrific game in the last game against the Blues, but I thought Fulcher in the second and third really played well against the Blackhawks. When
you look at the game, Caden Fulcher had a rough first period, and St. Louis, when they were their most dangerous on Saturday, was their first period, and that's when the Romeo came up with a lot of big saves. So I think based on that performance alone, 5-on-5 mostly, I think that was a determining factor why he gets the nod in net today for first place.
And Red Wings had an off day yesterday, but they did skate this morning for their practice, and Carly Johnston was there for all the action. Carly, what did you learn today?
Thanks, Danielle. That's right. I got to talk to some of the guys and Coach Ben Simon after morning skate. One of those guys being Alec Regula, who is a Michigan native, so he knows a lot about the Toronto Maple Leafs and Red Wings history, that rivalry. He's really excited to play in the game tonight. I also got to spoke to Giovanni Smith, who had a good game on Saturday, and a 4-year vet. He's feeling good being out here on the ice. The team chemistry is great. Speaking of chemistry, also caught up with Veleno and Zadina, who, unfortunately, Zadina hasn't been able to meet the back of the net in the past couple games, but he's had a lot of really great setups for Veleno, who has scored 4 goals in the past 2 games. That's 2 goals each game in the second period. What are the odds? I don't know. But let's throw to some sound and see what they had to say in their own words.
I definitely have a bone to pick with the Leafs, I guess you could say. I don't know. I guess from growing up and watching the Wings, I always hated the Penguins the most, But living in London and being in Ontario, I live with I have a roommate there from Ontario, and we never miss a Leaf game, so I know a lot about their organization, and it'll be really fun to play them tonight. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a contract year, so to speak. I mean, that's not something I really worry about. I'm more worried about or focused on having a good year, and I think the rest will take care of itself. That's not something I really think about too much, and they're either going to sign me or they're not, and I just got to work hard and do my due diligence and just try my best to get better, and I think everything will work out.
When you look back on last season, how do you you were on a pretty stacked blue line with a lot of guys taking a lot of ice time. How do you kind of look back on last year?
I think it was a good year for me personally, but I think as a team, I think we kind of didn't live up to the expectations for playoff-wise, and it was a bit disappointing. And I definitely have a chip on my shoulder this year coming back to London and being the only returning defenseman. I think I got a lot of weight on my shoulders, and it'll be a big season for me to kind of carry the team to another run, I think.
But going into this, you kind of have a chip on your shoulder, like you said. You guys lost last year in the finals. What's it going to take to combat the Leafs?
I think for us, we're playing really good hockey right now. If we keep it the same way, then we'll be fine. Our top line's getting points. Our fourth line's buzzing. Our third line, second line, everyone's going. Goalie's playing fantastic right now. So if we bring that same emotion, same intensity, we'll be fine.
Not to mention your power play. I mean, that's something that you guys really capitalize on. It's been going well for you the past couple of games.
Yeah, power play's been clicking. New coach, and he's been running the power play, showing us our units and our routes, and he's doing a good job.
All right, Joe, you have 4 goals in the last 2 games. You scored 2 goals in each second period. What's it going to take to keep the ball rolling for tonight?
I think just keeping the play simple. I mean, put pucks on net. I think I've been shooting a lot these past 2 games, and it's resulting in a lot of offense. And I think our power play's been clicking, so we got to keep that going. And obviously, if we can get some more 5-on-5 from our lines, then that'll be really good.
You mentioned your power play is clicking. What's it taking to get that power play to flow so well for you guys?
I think just keeping everything simple, following the plan that the coaches have been giving us, and obviously using our creativity, our chemistry, our communication. I think all that plays a huge factor in having a good power play, and I think that's what we've been doing, just keeping it simple and moving the puck really quick.
That's been going well, and Giovanni said the chemistry on the team has been going great this year.
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, I think compared to last year, I think our chemistry is a lot better as a team, and I know a lot of us have been here this summer already, so we already got that going, and just the locker room seems really confident, seems really loose, and I think everyone's fitting in really well.
What's it going to take tonight to beat the Maple Leafs and to move on to the championship?
I mean, just wanting more than them. I mean, our competitiveness has to be high tonight. Keep things simple, play within our identity, use our speed, and try to make plays in the offensive zone. I know, they won 2 games, they've scored a lot of goals, and we just gotta have the puck on our stick a lot more than they do, and I think we'll be really good tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just I think the most important right now for me, and especially for the team, is the win right now. It was a huge win for us the other night. So I mean, I think at some point the goals will come, but just want to play a good game and have fun with the boys.
I can see from the vantage point where I watch these games, you're shooting, you're getting open, you're creating your shot. Just a little bit off. I mean, how much does that eat away at you? You're not waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat thinking, God, what's going on here? I mean,
no, I don't know. Just to be honest, it's part of the hockey. Sometimes you just can't score, and otherwise you're just passing, creating chances for the other lineman. So I mean, it just. It's not that bad, I guess, that I'm not scoring. At least we have someone else who's scoring the goals right now, so it's probably the best for us, for our team, that each player can score the goal. So I mean,
Toronto. I mean, do you really look at this? The rivalry between these 2 teams, because it goes back forever.
Yeah, well, obviously I know that, but I think it's a prospect tournament. It's probably not taking that serious as a pro. But I guess it'll be huge games tonight. Obviously, we want to prepare ourselves for a huge game and for a huge win for us. So it's gonna be a hard game. We gotta go for 100%, and we'll see what's gonna happen.
You made an interesting comment last game. You said, "Listen, we want to win this tournament because this is the last time we as a team are going to be together." Can you talk about the camaraderie in here and how this team is bonding?
Well, we are pretty good goalies, I guess. I mean, the whole team, the entire of the team is strong. It's building from the other boys, such as Smitty and Taco and Koff, and they were very good players. So it's obviously nice to have them here, and they are our leaders. So just it's great to have them and great to play with them, and I think we feel strong as a team, so that's just good for us.
Will you give a fiery speech before the Red Wings hit the ice?
My Rudy speech out. Now these guys, we've been getting better every game. These guys are ready to go. It'll be a fun game. Toronto's got a good group of kids here, and it should be a fun game.
How important is it, even though it's quote unquote just the prospects tournament? to establish a winning culture at a very, early stage in their career?
Well, I think that's important in any player's career, but to be a part of a winning team in any tournament, in any game, you want to win a hockey game. So I think for a player, whether it's a rookie tournament, whether it's a regular season game, whether it's a playoff game, I think that you learn how to play so that you're contributing and playing with winning habits.
What I haven't seen a lineup yet. Are you making any changes? Who's in net tonight? What kind of team are we going to see out there?
Roma, I thought, did a fantastic job, so he'll get the start again. We're putting Loggins back in. We're putting a couple of guys back in to see what they can do, and hopefully we want the best lineup as possible.
When you look at tonight's game, I mean, keys to victory, because these guys were just thrown together a few days ago. Toronto's in the same boat. I know they've played with each other or against each other. Basic coaching tonight, or do you develop a strategy, or is it more, do you kind of dumb it down, I guess is what I'm asking?
No, we introduced some systems that obviously a lot of these guys are coming to training camp. So what they're going to be taught in training camp, we try to implement a little bit. We meet with Detroit staff and try and introduce the basics of what they're trying to teach, and the principles and the habits like that. Now, it's, again, we've practiced once, you have 2 games, so you're kind of learning on the fly, and we're teaching on the fly a little bit, but I think our goal, to gradually introduce different things as we move forward here. I think the guys have been pretty receptive and have applied what we've showed them to what you see.
As you heard Coach Ben Simon say there, this team has been improving game by game, so they're ready for this game tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And just a reminder, if the Red Wings win in regulation tonight, they are headed to that championship game tomorrow. So looking for a big Detroit dub tonight. Guys, puck drop is just a moment away. You guys won't want to miss it, so stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to the 2019 Prospects Tournament live stream presented by Huntington Bank. I'm Daniela Bruce alongside Art Regner and Ken Kale. You guys, we've just got a couple seconds until puck drop, but I did want to ask you one question. We heard Coach Ben Simon say in that sound that these guys have been getting better every single game. Is that something you agree with?
I agree with it, and you could see just from the get-go in that game against Chicago in the first period, it just seemed to me that they were slow getting off the. They started off with a power play, played pretty well, and then the next thing they took off after that. So I would agree with that. Yep.
Okay, guys, we're going to throw down to the ice for a minute for the national anthem. Let's go back to what we were talking about before, guys. We said that Coach Ben Simon said this team was improving. Art, I wanted to get your thought on that. Each game he said they got a little better. What did you think?
I actually thought I thought so too. It sounds crazy, but you can go one of two ways. You can either get better or get worse. You never level off. And I think the Red Wings have shown a resiliency as a group. And there does seem to be a chemistry, and when you go into the room and you talk to them, they do seem to like each other. So I agree with him. And another thing that was interesting that Ben Simon said is that he talked to the Detroit staff, and they've implemented a simplistic system of how the Red Wings want to play, and that they've adapted to it pretty easily. So again, I really think that this is going to be a high-end, entertaining game, and I'm eager to see how these young Red Wings perform.
All right, we're ready to go. Ian Scott is the goaltender for Toronto Maple Leafs, and Sean Romeo is the goaltender for the Detroit Red Wings. We're underway, and the Red Wings will pick it up. Lucas Savages fires the puck into the Toronto zone. Puck is steered up the boards by Tumu Kibiame, and now a shot on goal. And the save was made by Scott. Leafs send it all the way down the ice. Foot race. Who's going to get there first? It's Sider. Icing call right off the get-go. And Sider was being bothered there as he was going after that loose puck by one of the Maple Leafs. Didn't like it.
No, he does not like to be toyed with, shall we say. He'll let you know. Hey, I wanted to mention there's a local product, Nick Robertson, second-round pick, 53rd overall in this draft. He's from the Southeast Michigan area. I believe it's Farmington Hills. I got to double-check that. But he's a high-end prospect, played for Peterborough last year.
No score first period. Glad you're in tune. We'd like to say hello to all of our Red Wing fans over in Europe that have tuned in and are listening and watching the live stream as the Leafs bring it back in to the Detroit zone. Elniuk tried to send it out in front of the Red Wing goal. Now it's pounded away from right out in front. Taro Hirose doing the job this time. He shot at the length of the ice. Icing is called against the Detroit Red Wings. And we do have a lot of followers over in Europe. We're staying up late to watch this action here tonight between the Wings and the Maple Leafs.
Well, it's a testament to what the Red Wings have done in Europe over there. I think you talk to any Swede, they'll tell you the number one team in Sweden is the Detroit Red Wings for obvious reasons. So if I knew how to say hello in any other language but English, I would say it.
No score first period. Joe Veleno is out on the ice for Detroit along with Zadina. Puck is played out in front. Hirose scooping it up for Detroit. Checked off the puck. Into the corner. It's played back and behind the goal by Colt Conrad. He is checked in along the end boards by Mo Sider. Knocked him off balance. Veleno with the loose puck gets it ahead to Regula. Alex Regula with a feed pass to Veleno. Down the left wing. Tried to feather it across to Hirose, and that was stopped by Lindgren, the Maple Leaf defenseman. Zadina from the left side. Drops it back to the trailer, Joe Veleno. Veleno fired a shot, trying to go upstairs, and that one into the protective netting. In behind the goaltender, Ian Scott.
If you notice, Taro Hirose is wearing a different number. He wore 53 with the Red Wings. He's now wearing 67. He requested a number change. He wanted 17. Filip Hronek is wearing that, so he couldn't get it, but he wanted a number that had a 7 in it. Who tells me that hockey players aren't superstitious?
Well, good thing you didn't want number 7. It's already retired, Ted Lindsay, right?
Well, you know, I did tell him Gordie Howe's original number was 17 as a Red Wing.
That's right.
So,
no score first period. Lidstrom along the near wing. Puck was batted away, and the Leafs now will pick it up. That is Teemu Kivihalme with it. Along the near wing, he'll play it out to center ice off a stick into the corner in the Detroit end. Berggren after it quickly for the Wings. Tapping it out to center ice. It's stolen. Now it's Lidstrom taking a hit from Bradley. Goes after the puck. Lidstrom played it out to center. Following up on the action there is Loggins of Detroit. And he will fire that puck around the boards, back around into the corner in the Toronto end. No score opening period as the Leafs bring it ahead. Here is a long lead pass. Kivihalme trying to go after the puck. He was stepped into by Chad Yetman, the Red Wing forward. Pass out to center ice, and Soderblom will scoop it over the line to Casey, and the puck eluded him, comes out to center. Soderblom of the Wings dropping it back. Now McRae has it for the Red Wings through center ice, lifts it over on the left side, and the Wings shoot it into the corner in the Toronto zone. Puck played around the end boards. Toronto with one shot. Red Wings looking for their first shot on goal. They are the visiting team here in this hockey game tonight. Out to center ice, Abramov, he was slowed up. And the play whistled down out at center ice.
And an interesting touch to the beginning of today's game, Ken, is that even though we're in the sovereign nation of the United States of America, since the Red Wings were the visiting team, the Star Spangled Banner was played first, followed by O Canada. Nice touch there by the people here at Center Ice Arena.
And as you mentioned, this rivalry goes back a long, long time. The Maple Leafs at one time when they came into the National Hockey League before the Red Wings, they were known as the Toronto St. Pats. And that was way back in the day and before you were born and I was born.
Yeah, before, just barely, but yes.
Puck shot down into the Red Wing zone, and Regula to pick it up. He'll jam it up the near wing to Lucas Savages. Ahead center ice, it's tapped by Pearson to the Maple Leaf line. Now Lucas Savages picks it up in stride. Got the shot away, and that one just wide of the short side of the Maple Leaf goal. Lucas Savages again with a turnaround shot that deflects off a Leaf stick and into the protective netting.
I'm quickly becoming, and I know you're already there, a Lucas Savages fan. I mean, he seems to have a knack and nose for the net and knows what to do with that puck.
Well, he's an older player, too, and I think that helps in a prospects tournament when most of these guys are 18, 19 years old. But still, he has shown that when he gets open, he has the opportunity to find the twine and behind the net.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's been impressive thus far.
3.5 gone by opening period. Kivihalme got it up the left wing boards, and now it's sent across as the Leafs bring it forward. Out to center ice, that's Hollowell. Shooting it into the corner, Gustav Lidstrom roughs him up into the corner. Leafs trying to hold it in. It's into the high slot. Eleniuk with the right circle feed out in front. Off of Zadina, and the puck is shot wide of the goal by Kivihalme. It deflects into the left corner, and the Leafs have it again. Back around the board, scooping it up there. Leaf player goes down in a heap. That is Justin Brazeau, and now the Red Wings come away with a puck. Here's Gustav Lidstrom for Detroit. Hirose is on the left side, gets the feed from him. Cuts out to the center ice circle. Hirose over the Maple Leaf line, poked off the check. There Arguchintsev turning with it, stumbles a little bit. Worked it to center, or the middle of the blue line. It's shot in. Off of skates, Zadina has it. Boy, the Red Wings just held that one in. Zadina turns, fires short side and wide of the Maple Leaf goal. Loggins fighting for the puck for Detroit in the right corner. Good hard work by the Wings. Now the Leafs will steer it up the boards and out to center ice. Up across the line is the player Der Arguchintsev. And now the shot taken, and Scott the save, taking no chances. He'll hang it on.
Just before that last flurry by the Leafs, it looked like the Red Wings were starting to gain a little bit of momentum and starting to sustain pressure in the Toronto end. But pretty much shots 2-1 in favor of the Leafs. Pretty much an even game right now. Both teams pretty tenacious on the forecheck.
And Ken, you mentioned it. The Red Wings did a good job of keeping that puck in the offensive zone on that play.
Yep.
Lots of hard work.
They just barely kept it in. It almost looked like it was offside, Daniela, but the linesman was right there. Here's McLeod for Detroit, quickly back into the Leaf zone. A pass in front and a shot by Loggins. That one ends up wide of the goal. Leaf Scott got a piece of it, the netminder. Red Wings hold it in. Sider to Regula, back to Sider at the right point. Stutter step by Sider to Regula, pass across. Here is Loggins with a shot block. Sider on the rebound, right circle, thought about shooting. Instead throws it across Regula with a slapper, and that's blocked. That was knocked down right there by Colt Conrad. Now it's played in behind the goal. Red Wings trying to force the action again. Conrad checked by Loggins in the corner. They battle for it again in that corner in the Maple Leaf zone. Good hard work by Loggins, digging the puck loose. Turns and fires it back in behind the goal. And this is that grinding style that we talked about in the pregame show that the Red Wings want to play against these Leafs. And finally, they just relieve the pressure as Igor Korshkov throws that puck the length of the ice. Icing is called against Toronto, and that's the kind of action you want to see.
Right, that's exactly right. And, the Red Wings, first two games, they haven't really been able to do that, but they're really picking it up here. Certainly they want to be able to dictate the play, and slowly but surely, as its periods wear on, they seem to be finding their legs.
Two shots by the Leafs, one for the Red Wings. Here's Berglund with a drive, and he fired that one wide of the goal. Joe Veleno, 4 goals in the tournament, moving it behind the goal away from Kral. Veleno drops it for the trailer. Nice read by Berglund to take it deeper into the Maple Leaf end. Berglund twisting and turning, hands it off to Zadina. Zadina with a shot short side, gets another effort, and Scott made 2 saves in the goal crease. Now again, the Leafs will pick it off. Conrad dumping that puck out to the Detroit line. Gustav Lidstrom with a quick feed. Up across the line. Hirose trying to drop it to Veleno. It's intercepted. Leafs, Eleniuk missed his man with a pass. Robertson going after it, but getting there first, the Wings to dump it in behind the goal. Robertson steals, turns, fires, and the save was made by Sean Romeo, the Red Wing netminder.
The Romeo looking good. Only 3 shots he's faced, but he's obviously stopped all of them. That Robertson's an intriguing player, though. Can play for Peterborough, as I said, taken by the Leafs, 2nd overall. He's a young man that has Detroit ties, and he kind of fits the mold of what the Leafs have. The Leafs have been going for a lot of smaller forwards lately, small, quick guys. Can think no Mitch Marner, who's now embroiled in that contract snafu, but you look at it this way, and I thought Robertson showed good hockey sense there and almost put it in, but Romeo made the save.
Maple Leafs have had their burst of offense so far in this period, but I think the Red Wings have done a good job of kind of dictating the play, as you said, and we mentioned before that was something they struggled with in the past 2 games in just the first period. So I think it's better to see them coming out this way.
Right, we haven't had any special team play right now, and I think 5-on-5, the Red Wings have pretty much held their own against Toronto.
I like the play of Loggins, too, the Red Wings
Yes.
forward. He really worked hard in the corners, and that's what you want to see. You want to see those grinders get in there, and, that grinding action along the boards causes turnovers. And when you get turnovers, the chance to score goes up.
Yeah, well, you get the opponent frustrated because you're just, it's like a fly that won't go away buzzing around your head or something. You just want to swat it away, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't.
La Rochelle dumps it up the right side. Now it goes into the Detroit zone. McRae, Red Wing defenseman, lifts it around the near wing. Out to center ice. Abramov slides it across. Now it's Alistrop to fire that puck around the boards into the corner behind the Red Wing net. 6 minutes gone by opening period. Red Wings need a victory in regulation to get into the championship game tomorrow against the Dallas Stars, and the Dallas Stars have won their division. Wings scoop it up. Destu didn't clear it out. A shot from the right point. That was driven by La Rochelle, and that never made it through to Romeo, the Red Wing netminder. Along the near wing, Wings pick it up. Soderblom down the right wing with a burst of speed. Moves in. Backhand try. Rebound chance wide of the goal. Shot by Casey, the Red Wing forward. Good solid move by Soderblom, who's got it again. He loses his edges, goes down in the corner. Abramov trying to jam it away. Soderblom in there, comes away with a puck. Now it rolls off his stick. Leafs settle it down as it's tapped up the wing and out to center.
Ben Simon said earlier today, Soderblom, he's really impressed with him. After all, we have a tendency to forget. He's Swedish, he's from Europe. This is like the 3rd game he's played on a small ice surface and is adapting very well.
You can really see his height difference out there, too. He's 6'7".
Regula was really hit.
In the face.
And he is slow getting up along the boards, trying to stay in the play. I think that was Elleniuk. I think that was Elleniuk that hit him. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But Lucas Savages now makes his way in. The play is whistled down in that Maple Leaf end.
Much like it looked like Mo Seider a couple of games ago, he seemed to be out on his feet right now. Well, and Alec Regula had been nursing a knee injury, and he had not been able to partake. When he was called up to Grand Rapids after London season was over last year, in a workout he injured his knee. It didn't come around. He couldn't participate. He participated in everything but the on-ice stuff at development camp, and it was good to see him out here. Hopefully he'll be all right.
Christians Rubens laid it ahead. Now the Leafs now with a chance, and they misfire from the left side. That was Korshkov trying to score. Korshkov has it again in the corner. He is ridden along the corner boards. Gustav Lidstrom doing the job. Puck up near wing, falling down. That was Conrad. Colt Conrad fights for possession. Has it, spins out in front, tried to turn to the forehand. Knocked off the puck, Lucas Savages. Has it at center for Detroit. He drops it back. Pearson hammers it out to center to Giovanni Smith. Smith eludes traffic, lugs it over the Toronto line. Coming back to steal, though. That's the defenseman Timu Kivihalme. Kivihalme with a good opportunity there to steal, and now it's Hollowell scooping it up for the Leafs to Kivihalme again. No score first period. Brazeau at center, steers it into the Detroit zone. McRae hustles after it for the Wings, outlets it to McLeod. Good feed pass out of the zone. Here's Kuffner. Over the line, drops it back, left side of the ice for McLeod. Pulls the puck, sends it now to McRae. He moves in, and he just couldn't find the handle of it. And then he falls down. The puck comes out to center ice. Just couldn't get the shot away that time, Art.
No, good play there by Toronto defenseman. Just sprawled out on the ice. He had no room to shoot.
Almost halfway through the opening period. No score between the Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings. Leafs have not lost a game in this Prospects tournament. They're 2-0. Seider. Left circle feed, shot from the line, saved by Scott, rebound, shot wide of the goal. That original point shot came from C.E. Dastu from the left point. Red Wings steal, up over the line, 2-on-1 developing. Here's Loggins moving in, and he scores!
Beautiful!
Red Wings take the lead 1-0 on the goal by Troy Loggins.
Ken, you mentioned working hard and forcing turnovers, and there's a perfect example of it.
And that's what, Ken, what you were saying, that grinding style. I mean, the Red Wings have been relentless on the forecheck, and it really paid off. Caused a turnover, and Loggins shot at home.
Logan's a guy that we actually just talked about too, that he was playing well and fighting for the battles in the corners. Nice to see him finish one.
Right, certainly.
I believe it was Kupner who fed him the pass, too. We'll have to listen for the assist, but it was a good 2-on-1 developing. Good shot by Loggins, 1-0 Detroit.
Regula has not returned yet, and he would be out here on this shift. Detroit's top line's out there. He's been paired with Mo Sider, but right now Gustav Lidstrom is out there with Sider. So we'll have to keep an eye, and hopefully, as we said, Regula, who took a hit to the face, will be all right.
Kupner does get the assist on the goal by Loggins on that 2-on-1. Well, the Red Wings, they want to play with the lead. They've got it 1-0 here in the first. That goal coming by Loggins at 10:02 this opening period. Hiroshi winding up at center for the Wings. Drops it to Philip Zadina. Cuts inside, over the line. Moves in with a shot off the glove of Scott. And now the defenseman, Kiwi Halme, to slide it out to center ice. Estefan let it go, and now falling over the line, Hollowell, and he'll steer it into the corner in the Red Wing end. Valeno deep in behind his own goal for Detroit. Eludes a check, lifts it up to Hiroshi. Now a quick feed ahead. Berglund jumping up over the Toronto line. Toe drags the puck, lost it. Steered up the wing, and now Hiroshi hammers it in behind the Maple Leaf net. 1-0 Detroit. Leafs bring it out of their own zone. Jesper Lindgren up the left side. Now it's shot in by the Leafs. Berglund after the puck. Stotts is checked in along the boards. It comes back towards the right point. Here's Rubens moving in. He wristed the shot. Save made by Romeo. Rebound Detroit. Casey after the puck for the Wings. They battle for it in the corner, and now coming away with it, McLeod, the Red Wing player. Sticked it up the side glass, down the ice, waved the icing off, and Rubens to chase it down for Toronto. Red Wings will change on the go. Abramoff in the far corner. Lost it. Here's a turnaround shot. Rebound. Soderblom had the wide open net, and it just rolled off his stick blade and wide of the goal.
He'll have a nightmare about that tonight.
Here's Soderblom with a backhand try. Scott the save. A turnaround shot, and that one knocked into the corner. So the Red Wings getting some opportunities again. Lidstrom gets the glove feed from Dastu, and therefore the whistle out at the center ice circle. But Soderblom had a good opportunity.
He did, yeah. Wide open net and just shot it a little bit wide. Maybe he had a little more time than he thought.
Well, the Red Wings make a change, and out steps Lucas Savages along with Pearson and Giovanni Smith. Smith in the ear of the forward, Giorgio Estefan.
I don't know if this is a carryover or something, but it looks like Giovanni's saying, hey, you want to go?
Kiwi Halme dumping it in. Mo Sider flips it out to center ice. Hollowell ahead to Kiwi Halme, who will dump it into the corner, and it's an icing call. He was on his side of the ice, Timu Kiwi Halme, and icing is charged against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 7 shots on goal for the Red Wings in the game, 4 for the Leafs. Detroit leading 1-0.
Right, the Red Wings have come on because they were trailing in shots on net. It took them a while to even get their first shot on goal, but as the game has progressed, as we've talked about, Red Wings seem to be getting better and better and better, but this has been a really tough, physical, hard-checking hockey game thus far.
Peach Pearson in for the draw. Peach is from the state of Georgia, therefore the nickname we gave him.
We gave him, and his family told him about it, and I'm not so sure he's thrilled.
We're blaming you for that one, Art.
Yeah, I told him it was in honor of Ty Cobb, the Georgia Peach, the greatest baseball player, or greatest Detroit Tiger ever. Still has the record for highest average in Major League history. Career average, 361, I believe.
Well, he's a peach of a hockey player, that's for sure. As the Wings now, Giovanni Smith redirects that puck back in behind the Maple Leaf goal. 7:05 to play here in the first period. 1-0 Detroit. Goal scorer, Troy Loggins.
He said Peach doesn't sound tough. But I said, well, because you're smooth. He goes, I got to start scoring if I'm going to be smooth.
There's a pass in front and a shot.
Beautiful
and a goal by Simon Ter Arguchintsev. And he's the guy that I was talking about in the pregame show. He ties up the hockey game for the Leafs on a shot upstairs.
He picked a corner. That was a nice goal. Romeo was in position, so sometimes, again, you have to tip your cap. I thought that cap to the opposition. He had it, he got it off quick, and he was able to pick the corner. It hit Romeo, but he didn't get all of it, and it was in the top corner of the net. We're tied 1-1.
Simon Arguchintsev tying up the hockey game 1-1, 13:02 of this opening period. He's out there for the face-off as the Leafs, Korshkov over the line, shot the puck off a skate to the far boards. Loggins will pick it up for Detroit. Leafs get there first. Here's Kral, left circle, moves in with a shot, and that's off a stick and wide of the Detroit goal. La Rochelle knocked down along the far boards by McLeod. Gustav Lidstrom is checked. Colt Conrad doing the job. The Maple Leaf forward, Der Arguchintsev, is checked in along the boards by Berggren. Der Arguchintsev comes away with the puck. Now it's lifted up the wing and out to center ice. Der Arguchintsev overskated the puck. Now the Wings will pick it up, and up across the line, moving in, is Ryan Kuffner, and he's squeezed in along the end boards by Kral. Wings have it. It's lifted out to Seider at the blue line. Left circle feed. Now here is Hirose with a shot. He scores!
Whoa,
A quick wrister by Hirose makes it 2-1 Detroit.
Taro Rossi had a 5-game point streak when he was up with the Red Wings. Very impressive, and that was his first goal of this Prospects tournament.
Number 67.
Yeah, you're talking about him. It must be that 7.
Yeah, that's right. He's got that 7 on his jersey. And
Boy, a beautiful shot by Taro Hirose from the left side, and that one off the iron and in, and it gives Detroit the lead 2-1.
Mo Seider is having different defensive partners right now. The Red Wings could be down to 5 defensemen. They are, it looks like, the remainder of this period, because Alex Regula looked like he got hit in the face on a check and seemed to be a little bit disoriented. So we'll have to keep watching that, because as this hockey game wears on, the Red Wings are down to just 5D, and they're playing their 3rd game in 4 days. That could be a factor.
Big goal for the Red Wings. Second lead of the hockey game, 2-1. Elnuck out at center ice. Elnuck backhands the puck along the boards and behind the Red Wing goal. Mo Seider gets there first. Elnuck took it away momentarily. Now Seider finding some room in the corner, flips it end over end out to center ice. La Rochelle overskated the puck, gets its second effort to roll it up across the Detroit blue line. Seider, feed pass, now quickly to Veleno. Left circle into the Toronto zone. Jams it around the end boards. Zadina will try and pick it up, roll it up the left side. Now the Leafs break out of their own end. Here they come, Kral, cuts for the net. Alistrov has it along the far boards. Knocked it deeper into the corner, and back and behind the goal. Alistrov is checked. Puck rolls to the right point. They hustle to hold it in, and they do. Puck steered ahead by Stotts. Lost an edge. Gets up quickly, laid it on the line to Kral. Fired the shot. Save made. Romeo into the corner. Maple Leafs now grinding it down in the Detroit zone. Red Wings leading 2-1, 4:34 to play in the first period. Back towards the right circle. Leafs Lindgren has it. Lindgren slides it across the Kral. Back to Lindgren, calling for the puck. Rolling puck, shot it on goal, and Romeo the save. Penalty coming up to Toronto, or is it to Detroit right here as the play is whistled down. Interference is the call, and a tripping call, so I think
we got
both
2
parties will be getting a penalty.
We could be playing a little bit of 4-on-4, a lot of open ice. With the skill level on these teams, that should be in for a lot of offensive action. We're trying to get the call down right now. Yeah, they definitely are calling a penalty on both teams.
There was an interference call and a tripping call on the play.
I think the Red Wings were getting the first penalty, and then a Detroit player was tripped. So
neither team has had a power play opportunity here in the opening period. We have 3 goals, and all 3 goals have come at even strength.
Which is something good to see, because the Red Wings, out of the 11 goals he had scored in the tournament heading into this game, 6 were with the man advantage.
They were given the man advantage a lot last night, and 2-man advantage at points. So I'm sorry, that was Saturday night.
Well, that's all right. St. Louis Blues definitely contributed. They were very gracious with
yes, exactly,
with committing infractions.
So they'll play 4-on-4 hockey, and the Red Wings have Pearson out there with Mo Seider, Gustav Lidstrom, and Giovanni Smith. Der Arguchintsev going for the face-off. He's the Leafs' lone goal scorer here in the opening period. Wings win the draw. Smith hands it off to Sider, who shoots out to center ice. Sider over the line, had his pocket picked, and now the Leafs come back on a 2-on-1 over the line. Moving in. Here's a shot, and they score. A shot from the left side that beat the goaltender Romeo, and that was Teemu Kivihalme who gets the goal, and it's now a 2-2 game.
I think the Romeo would like to have that shot back. I mean, that kind of, he saw it all the way, and he had got most of it, but it just trickled in behind him. That'll be one that he'll be talking about after the game. Still 4-on-4, though, for another minute 48. 4:07 left in this first period. 2-2 tie between the Red Wings and the Maple Leafs.
So the play continues with 4 minutes now to go in the first period, and Mo Sider sets up the breakout in behind now to the side of the Detroit goal. Kuffner out there for Detroit. He's got an assist so far in the first period. Ryan Kuffner, wing shoot it in, and icing is the call against Detroit.
Sider plays a lot of minutes anyway, but if Regula cannot come back in this hockey game, I would imagine that his ice time is even going to be increased that much more.
Well, it gives an opportunity, too, for some of the younger defensemen on this team perhaps to step it up, like Gustav Berglund maybe, perhaps?
Well, certainly Berglund's one of the guys, and as we said, Sider has played with virtually everybody now, and he's played the right side and the left side since Regula has gone down.
Kivihalme with the tying goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2-2. Kuffner has it. Still 4-on-4 hockey for a minute and 15. A lot of ice to maneuver with. Kuffner laid it up across the Leaf line. No goes after it in the corner, and Ellenyuk digging for the puck in that corner in the Toronto zone. Now Sider comes away with a pass. Moves across, shoots. Oh, and that one just wide of the goal. Scott may have gotten a piece of that one, too, as the Leafs bring it ahead up the right wing. That's Robertson.
Yeah,
Robertson cutting through traffic, moves in, pass across, and that one pops up into the air and in behind the goal. That one developed quickly, and now we've got another penalty on the play. .306 to go in the first period.
Looks like that one's going to be on Sider. Not sure exactly what the call was.
Yeah, I don't think he does either, because he skated right back to the bench, and there he is. He is in the box.
Well, the first power play of the game will go to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is going to be a 4-on-3 power play because there's 47 seconds remaining in the original minor penalties to both clubs. Arguchintsev will take the face-off for Toronto. He's got a goal here in the opening period against Pearson. Red Wing penalty killers have done a good job so far in the Prospects tournament. I believe they've allowed just 2 power play goals.
And this is going to be a bit of a challenge for Veleno, Pearson, and McCrary.
Keep in mind the shorthanded efforts there for Detroit. Got some good talent out onto the ice as Veleno goes after the puck. Penalty killing roll, finds the opening and swishes a backhand all the way down the ice. Leafs to bring it ahead, 2:45 to play first period, a 2-2 tie. Here is Robertson up across the Detroit line. Stick
nice
handles
move
through traffic, now to Arguchintsev, back to Robertson. Robertson to Kivihalme, over to Robertson with a shot, and Romeo made the saving goal. Stopped it with a goal stick. Red Wings fail to clear it out. Kivihalme holds it in right point, got it right circle to Robinson. Robinson into the high slot, shovels it back to Kivihalme, back to Robinson, fakes the slapper, moves in, tries to go upstairs with a wrister wide of the goal. Got a lot of lift on that shot. Now it's a one-man advantage for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Minute to go in their man advantage. 2:07 to play first period, game tied 2-2. Wings dig it loose. That's 2 trying to clear it away. Robinson gave the puck away to Pearson, and he will just fire it all the way down the ice. So good penalty killing by Detroit thus far as the Leafs still have the power play for 40 seconds. Holloway drops it to a trailer, and Estefan has to go deeper into his own zone to pick it up.
Right, a little miscommunication there by Toronto.
I'll say as the Leafs bring it ahead. Out to center ice, it's Estefan. Holloway now goes after the puck. Left wing boards, got it back in the line. Estefan swings it over right side. Stopped by the Wings, and now it's picked off and played all the way down the ice by Troy Loggins. And just time for one last rush on this Toronto power play with 1:20 to go in the opening period. 2-2 tie.
Red Wings pick it up right where they left off on the penalty kill. They have been very, very good when they have been down a man or
Into the Red Wing zone. Upstairs, across, right circle. Colton Conrad slides it out in front of the goal with under a minute to play. Hiroshi intercepted it for Detroit. Now to McLeod. Red Wings are at full strength. Here's McLeod into the corner, circles the Leaf net. Knocked off balance, still controls for Detroit. Sweeps it across for Zadina. He turns and fires, and Scott from a sharp angle comes up with a glove hand save.
I think Philip Zadina has made his mind up. I don't care where I am on the ice. I'm shooting the puck tonight, and
He's had a couple quality shots. None in the back of the net, but he's created a couple opportunities.
He was right on the goal line on one earlier today, Ken, and I know that caught Scott a little bit by surprise.
Well, here's the thing. It's all about numbers, right? So if a goalie save percentage is 90% and you shoot 10 times at him, one of them's going to go in, right? So if you're Zadina, you get 10 shots on goal, one of them's going to go in. So shoot, shoot, shoot.
I'm sure if Zadina were here, he'd say, I like that thinking. I'll shoot at least 10 shots a game. But you know Anthony Mantha, he says if he gets 5 shots on net, he'll get at least one goal every game.
I'll tell you what, Sider just swung his stick at one of the Maple Leaf players. He just swung it at one of the Leaf players, and he's going to get the gate, and that happened behind the play in the Toronto end.
Wow.
He was upset about something, and he just took his stick and just, like a baseball swing, hit one of the Maple Leaf players.
Yeah, we'll see.
Looks like he's got a little bit of a mean streak in him.
He
Mo
does.
Sider.
He does.
But in a 2-2 tie, you got to be careful. You got to always watch what you're doing with your goals, with your stick, as the Leafs are on the power play for the last half minute of the period.
I'm sure Ben Simon, the Red Wing coaching staff, will mention that to him in between periods.
They call it high sticking, half minute to go.
I think he was fortunate just to get one high sticking call on that one.
Yeah, he could have got a major penalty right there.
Right, that's what I was thinking. 5-minute major.
Robertson cuts in, shoots, save made by the player Romeo, the goaltender for the Wings, and he's looked strong as the Leafs have tested him. 6 seconds to go in the period. Kiwi Halme fired the shot, save made, Romeo, rebound, a shot, and they score. That's Robertson, I believe, on the doorstep, who fired it upstairs. There's no time left on the clock, so we're going to have to wait and see if this will be a good goal or not.
It was in. I think it's going to be a good goal. There might have been a few tenths of a second, but it was not 0-0, and that puck went in the net. Not much Romeo could do on that goal, really. He was being besieged by Leafs and made a number of saves, but we'll see.
If this goal does stand, you have to think Mo Sider is going to be a little bit frustrated with himself on that one.
Well, he'll definitely realize that you got to play within yourself. You got to play under control. You got to play with discipline, and that certainly was not a disciplined play.
1 second was left on the clock, so it is a good goal. It's now 3-2 Toronto, and that goal by Robinson will give the Leafs the one goal lead as we go into the first intermission. So they'll drop the puck out at center ice. That's Pearson for Detroit. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Alice Straub. And we're ready to go. Ceremonial face-off at center, and the period comes to a close. And the Leafs get that goal at 19:59 from Robertson and have a 3-2 lead over the Red Wings after 20 minutes of play.
Well, it's kind of a shame if you're from a Red Wing perspective, because they did play a pretty good first period. They actually had the lead at one point at 2-1, but then a little bit, Red Wings uncharacteristically a little bit undisciplined there towards the end, especially Mo Sider getting that high sticking call. And Toronto made Detroit pay for it, but overall I thought a pretty good period.
Yeah, pretty good first period of play, and we'll see how the Red Wings dig in for the start of the second.
And they mentioned, you mentioned Mo Sider. Mo Sider did get that penalty at the end there. He's still a young player. Is that something that comes with experience, or do you think that he's just a little frustrated with this game, with this defense?
You know, we've seen the first couple of games and even into today, he has a little bit of an edge. And, you know, we saw with Kirby Dach. He was all over Kirby Dach trying to get in his head, and he admitted after the game that's exactly what he was trying to do. So I think that he likes to be aggressive. I think that high sticking call, he's got to pull that back a little bit. You know, he's been very good at when to pinch, when not to pinch, he's good at anticipating the play. So what he really now has to do is learn how, and we're talking about an 18-year-old, to keep his emotions under check, because that was not a good penalty there at the end of the first period. You never swing your stick at anybody. You just don't. And I'm sure he'll learn from it. And again, as I said, I'm sure the coaching staff will be talking to him about it.
Well, so far in this tournament, the second period has been pretty key for the Red Wings, so hopefully they can keep that up and come out with some firepower in that second period. Stream will be right back, guys. We're going to throw to a quick break. Ten seconds. Welcome back to the 2019 NHL Prospects Tournament stream presented by Huntington Bank. I'm Daniela Bruce alongside Ken Kale. And guys, we've got a special guest this intermission, Sean Horkoff, Director of Player Development and Assistant Director of Player Personnel for the Detroit Red Wings. Sean, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. And fans are really going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you play a big role in running development camp as well in this Prospects Tournament. Why don't you talk about how important these two events are for prospects?
Well, they're very important. I mean, they're a little bit different. Obviously,
Right.
with the development camp, it's just our guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's our chance to really get to meet the newly drafted players for the first time, and then some of the younger players in our organization come back, get them together, and really just kind of go and really dive in as deep as we possibly can to all aspects of personal development. Where, and then they have a whole summer to train and work on what we try to structure for them. And then it all kind of culminates with this tournament here. Unfortunately, you don't have all the Europeans come and none of the college players can come, but you still get the majority of your prospects here, and you see how they stack up against 7 other NHL teams' prospects as well.
Sean, these kids are young, and when you're 18-year-olds and you come to a prospects tournament like this, what are some of the challenges that these 18-year-olds face? And sometimes they're playing against older players.
Yeah, like I said, it's never easy. Obviously, these are the first games that they play, all summer long, right? So it's kind of the prequel to this season, prequel to camp. Sometimes it takes them a little bit to kind of get into it, but I think that's why we put so much emphasis into summer training. We want them to come in here ready to go and hopefully put on a good showing. For them personally, it's their first opportunity. We have all the brasses here, all the scouts are here, and it's their first opportunity for to kind of put on a really good showing and in front of all the management scouts.
Speaking of guys putting on a good showing, one guy that has so far, Joe Veleno. I want to ask you specifically about him. There's been a lot of talk about how he's improved from last year to this year, and it's pretty obvious, but what do you think the main difference is in how he is as a player?
Well, I think Joe, to his credit, he came in and he stayed actually after development camp and trained in Detroit all summer long. By doing that, we're really able to dive into exactly kind of the areas that we thought he needed to work on. I think with Joe, it's no secret he's a very gifted offensive hockey player, but there's more to the game of hockey than just offense, right? And we wanted to work on the small things for him, the defensive habits, but on top of that as well, trying to get him to just become overall stronger, overall faster. And when the guy comes in and you get to be with him every day and spend time with him every day, makes our job easier.
Sean, take us through the process. I know when young kids are drafted, all of a sudden that's your role. You step in there and you have to really work with them quite a bit, don't you, I would imagine, to get them to be to where you want later on in their career.
Yeah, I mean, right from when they're drafted to us, they come right up to the box. We meet them right away, obviously, and I think that's really when the process begins. First and foremost, also with Dan Cleary and myself, we try to build relationships with these guys right away, because if you're not friends with them, if they don't believe that what you're saying to them is coming from a good place, they're never going to listen, right? So that's kind of our first and foremost thing we try to do is really to get to know the player, and get comfortable with them, and then from then on, and we just kind of dive into. Especially with the newly drafted players, we'll watch them as much as we can early in the season to try to learn them and get to know them, know what their strengths are, what their deficiencies are, and then from there we'll start putting a game plan together. And then obviously once the first season's over, we put a whole summer program together, from everything from off-ice training, in the weight room, nutrition, sleep, speed work, whatever really goes into to making that individual player better.
And Mo Seider was our first-round draft pick in June's draft, and he's been in Detroit for a while now, skating with the guys kind of like you mentioned Joe Veleno has. From what you've seen of him so far in mixing with the other guys, what do you like about him? Well,
his personality is incredible, actually. For anyone that's ever met him before, he's just a really, really outgoing guy, very easy to get along with, really wants to learn. I think very, very impressive individual. And he came in right away, and obviously what he's doing here, this is an easy tournament, especially for an 18-year-old defenseman to kind of step in, and we feel like he's played really well, so it's a good boost for us, and the kid has a lot of upside. Obviously he's like any other 18-year-old that needs to get stronger, but there's a lot of upside there, and we're happy with where he's at right now in his progress.
Sean, in your career, you decided to go the college route. You had a really good career at Michigan State University. Ron Mason was your coach over there. But what was it like for you being an 18-year-old? You had aspirations of playing in the National Hockey League. You're a little bit older going in, but take us back to when you were 18. What was on your mind?
A lot different than these guys. I think.
It's a lot different.
Yeah, exactly. For me, when I was 18, it was different. I went to college. I needed to go to college. I wasn't a very big person. A kid at the time. I think I went at about 170 pounds, and I needed the time. And I think Ron Mason was fantastic for me, and both helped me mature as a hockey player, but also make me realize, there's more to the game of hockey than just offense. He was instrumental in kind of teaching me the intricacies of the game and really spelling out what it was going to take for me to make it to the National Hockey League. And so when I left college 4 years later, I felt ready. I felt ready to go. And to this day, I still say when going into college as a freshman was the hardest year of my hockey career. So I got to give Michigan State and Ron Mason a lot of credit for that.
You've got a Michigan State Spartan out on the ice, Taro Hirose, and Brian Kuffner as well is on the ice tonight. Both guys chose to go to college. When you're looking at player development, what's different when you're looking at a guy that did spend 4 years at a university versus somebody like Mo Seider who was drafted at the age of 18?
Well, I mean, age first and foremost. I think when you were going to college, most of these guys, both Kuff and Hirose, are both guys that went for 4 years. They're a lot older than Mo, but I think for Mo, he's a guy that played in Mannheim last year, the men's league. You can see that there's a lot of maturity in his game. It's a little bit different. Sometimes when you get the junior players, their maturity level isn't there yet. I think for the college guys, I know for me personally, I had to go to college. You got to make your, you got to handle going to school. You have to balance a lot of things. You have to cook for yourself, clean for yourself. It kind of speeds up the process, of maturing, right? So, Terrell and Cuff, they're both guys that obviously we're happy that they chose to come here, being free agents that they were. But obviously with Terrell being a Michigan State Spartan, I followed him a lot through his career. So, I was happy to both recruit him, and obviously even more happy to get him.
Finally, Sean, you've seen a couple of games already in first period of this game between the Red Wings and the Maple Leafs. Is there any one or two players that might not be on the mainstream list that have caught your eye?
I don't know. I actually think we played pretty well. I think right now we're down. Obviously, we got into a little bit of penalty trouble, but I've been happy with the way we played. Obviously, the first line is where a lot of the higher profile names are, with Hirose, Joe, and Zadina. But I actually think Kuffner's played very well. Gregor McLeod coming in has played well. Elmer Soderblom for. Obviously we don't get that often where the Europeans come over, so it's nice to be able to see that. It was nice for London to let him come over, and he's been fantastic. A big body, really hard to knock off the puck. And then obviously with Smitty, Pearson, and Lukasevich, they've been a good strong line for us, a grinding line, a good third, hard play against, and they've been chipping in with some offense as well. I think off the back, it's too bad Regula got hurt there, because I thought he's played some of the best hockey that I've seen him play really up until this point. Really, really solid here. Had a good summer. I think Gustav Berglund, he skates well. Another younger player that's obviously nice to come over, and we get more looks at them. So, really happy with a lot of players.
Romeo seems to be playing pretty good too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's playing well. I mean, obviously he's a kid that had some success last year in college, and has stepped up well for us here.
Our only complaint is his Ohio State helmet. So that's the only thing we have to complain about.
We're calling him the goalie.
Well, Sean, thank you again for joining us. It was great to have you on. And guys, we'll be right back with the second period action. Welcome back to the NHL Prospect Tournament live stream presented by Huntington Bank. We're getting ready for the second period here. Ken, that was a great interview with Sean, wasn't it? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, it was really good to see and give our listeners and viewers out there what it's all about after you get drafted, and how important it is to not only play hockey and learn and develop and grow as a hockey player, but all the other things that you have to do to be a good pro. And he mentioned nutrition, he mentioned training and skating and off-ice workouts. I mean, all these are important, and it's a lot of hard work that goes into being a professional hockey player.
Well, I talk to Sean Harkoff quite often, about different prospects. And, you know, he does talk a lot about it. And when you talk to these prospects, too, well, they've been playing hockey their whole lives. And granted, each level it gets a little tougher, and the competition obviously gets better. It's more the off-the-ice adjustments that they have to make, especially when they move away from home. And, you know, I can remember some of the guys saying, you know, I had to open up a bank account. And, you know, usually my bank account was, you know, dad or mom or somebody just flipping me a couple of bucks.
Those were the best banks.
Yes, they were.
No interest.
Yeah.
No interest. I long for those days.
Well, late goal scored by Robertson with just 1 second to go in the first period. The Leafs have taken a 3-2 lead. Second period action. Pearson with a centering attempt comes to the line. Sider holds it in. Plays it in the skates of Gustav Lidstrom. He could not hold it in. Now he'll drill it in behind the Toronto goal.
Now, we haven't gotten a report on Alec Regula, who left this game in the first period after being drilled in the face. Not with a puck or anything. It was hit. It was a high hit. But it looks like Gustav Lidstrom and Mo Sider will be Detroit's top defensive pairing.
Gustav Lidstrom hammers it out to center. It's broken up by the defenseman Kivi Halme. Right circle feed. Brazeau with a shot wide of the goal. Elyuk with a firing slap shot. That went off the glass. Round the near side boards. Held in Hollowell. Right circle. Kivi Halme with a shot. Rebound out in front. Trying to jam it home. Brazeau. And the puck taken away by Zadina. Then he turned it over as Hollowell lays it back in behind the goal to Elyuk. Lots of turnovers there in that Detroit zone. Back to the blue line. Robertson got it to Kivi Halme, and then he was bothered by Zadina. Puck rolls off his stick and out to center ice. Kivi Halme shoots it in, and Romeo the save as the Red Wings go after it. Sider crushed in along the boards by Brazeau. Back on the line, La Rochelle has it for the Leafs. Skates over to the left side. Throws it down low into the corner. Now back towards the line to Crawl, and he'll roll it off the dasher and behind the Red Wing goal. Puck is picked up right there. Brazeau trying to steal the puck. Valeno calmly picked his pocket, then he turned it over to Derargu Chinsa. Now he steered it aside, and Hirose got it to Sider. To Hirose over the Maple Leaf line. Angles over to the right corner. Crawl all over him. Helping out Zadina. Derargu Chinsa with a check on him, and now coming away with a puck. That is Crawl. Crawl steers it up the near wing for the Leafs. Out to center ice, rolls all the way down the ice, and this will be an icing call against Toronto. 3-2, Maple Leafs with the lead. Glad you're in tune to the Prospects tournament tonight.
Thus far, the Maple Leafs trying to build off the momentum of that late goal scored with a second left on the power play to take the 3-2 lead. They have been pretty aggressive. They've been all over the Red Wings. Red Wings, though, weathering the storm. I thought Romeo, again, looking pretty solid in net. He's had a lot of traffic in front of him and has done very well with limited sight.
Shot on goal by the Wings, and Scott made the save. Boy, I'll tell you, Sean La Rochelle, the Maple Leaf defenseman, just drilled by Red Wing forward Troy Loggins in behind the net before that shot on goal.
And Loggins has been doing a little bit of chirping with the Leafs, too. So, again, we don't know the history that some of these players have with each other, but as they move up levels, they pretty much know each other. Through various leagues. Maybe some were teammates at one time back when they were kids, but a lot of chirping going on between the Wings and Leafs, which isn't surprising considering the rivalry.
McLeod, Loggins, and Kuffner out there for Detroit. Kuffner swings it up the right side. Loggins over the line. Steadies the puck, rolls it into the corner. Crawl to pick it up. He's chopped off the puck. Pass out in front, and it was intercepted, and back come the Leafs. Abramov at center ice. Floats it in behind the Red Wing goal. Dastu looks over his shoulder. Now McRae helping out for the Wings. It's jammed in along the end board, shoveled back to the right point. To the line it comes. It's sent to the left face-off circle. Abramov with a shot, and that one ends up off a stick and into the protective netting. So we played 3 minutes and 1 second of the second period. Red Wing goal scorers tonight, Troy Loggins and Taro Hirose. Derargu Chinsev, Kivi Halme, and Robertson connecting for the Leafs. Robertson's goal with 1 second left in the period, giving the Leafs a one-goal lead, 3-2, and that goal came on the power play when Sider was in the penalty box.
Right, the Red Wings, no power play goals thus far. I can't even remember having a power play advantage at all, Ken, so far in this game.
A couple of minor penalties were called, 4-on-4 situation. Leafs had Opportunity. Here's a redirection in front, and they score. That's off a Red Wing stick.
Yeah, there was nothing Romeo could do about that.
I think Kiwi Halme shot that puck just in front. There was a lot of traffic in front of the Red Wing netminder, Sean Romeo. Went off a Red Wing stick into the net for a 4-2 Leaf lead. And again, the Leafs continue to score. They had 12 goals coming into this contest against the Red Wings, have scored 4 already.
Yeah, that was certainly a little tough luck there for the Red Wings and especially for Romeo. But you've got to give Toronto credit. They've come out in the second period and they've really dictated the pace of play and are really taking it to the Red Wings. Red Wings going to have to regroup here very, very quickly to hopefully this game won't get out of hand.
Well, the Wings want to get the next one for sure to make it a 1-goal game. Here's Zadina down the left wing, pulls back, got it to Hirose, and he tried to move wide and lost the handle of the puck. Brazeau up the right wing boards into the Red Wing zone with a feed across. Here's Brazeau with a shot, and that one ends up off a stick into the corner. So Kiwi Halme has 2 goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Zadina knocked down at center by Bradley, but Mo Seider comes away with a puck for Detroit, and he'll backhand it right side of the Maple Leaf goal. Play whistle down inside that Toronto end. And a penalty coming up to Toronto, so this, Art, will be the first Red Wing power play of the night.
And certainly it'd be nice for the Red Wings to get one in here to pull within 1, because as this period, it's a little over 4 minutes old now. Toronto has exerted their will, and this is a team that has won by combined scores of 12-5. So, as you said, Ken, they can score goals. So the Red Wings are going to have to get back on the score sheet here and settle this game down a little bit.
Let's get that Red Wing power play set up with you. Here is Lucas Savages is out there, along with McLeod and the player Pearson. A shot from the right side wide of the goal, taken by Kupner, and that one all the way down the ice into the Detroit end. Gustav Lidstrom also out there. Kupner's playing the point on the power play. Wings would like to get back into this one. It's 4-2 Toronto early in the second. Wings dump it in. Pearson after the puck. He goes to the side of the net. Stick back to the line to Lidstrom. Lidstrom floats it over to McLeod. His pass broken up. Lidstrom recovers. Make that McLeod. McLeod with a cross-ice feed. Kupner will pick it up for Detroit. Kupner played it across, broken up, and shot all the way down the ice by Der Arguchintsev in a penalty-killing role.
You know, Toronto doing a good job of really getting in the passing and shooting lanes and really not giving the Red Wings any opportunity to make a play.
4-2 Leafs. Zadina on the power play, dances over the blue line, steers it left wing into the Toronto zone. Mo Seider has it for Detroit. Fired the screen shot, knocked down in front, rebound chance, trying to jam it home for Detroit.
Giovanni Smith right there.
Smith, yep, and he could not get it past the sprawled netminder Ian Scott.
Just lost sight of that puck for a second, and when he did find it, Scott was able to pounce on it. But Giovanni Smith right in the middle of things, good net front presence there.
51 seconds, still plenty of time remaining on the Red Wing man advantage. Smith stays out there for the Wings with Veleno and Zadina. Hirose is on the left point, Mo Seider is on the right. So the Wings could do some damage right here. They've got some pretty good players out there on the ice.
Yeah, this is a bunch of high-end talent here.
Zadina fights off a check to get it to Seider, quickly across the line of Hirose. Taro Hirose behind the back feed. Seider one time, nope. Zadina elects to hand it back to the line. He turned it over. And now out to center ice. It's scooped up and played by Elleniuk into the Detroit end.
Yep, Zadina wanted to shoot that puck. Lane closed quickly. Wanted to get it back to Seider in the pass. Probably didn't have enough mustard on it. Toronto easily cleared it out of the end.
Here's Hirose, and he's poke checked by Robertson, trying to make his way over the Maple Leaf blue line. Time for one last rush in this power play for Detroit. 13 seconds to go in the Wings man advantage. Seider head up out at center ice. Over the blue line. Jamming it loose along the near side. Stealing is Cole Conrad. Now a feed pass. Here's Estefan moving in with a shot. And the save was made by Romeo. That would have been a short-handed goal. Now the penalty is over. Back come the Wings. Smith to Hirose. Now to Zadina over the line. Zadina with a move. Cuts wide. Tried to feed it out in front. And that one ends up in the corner. Smith hammers it back towards the blue line. It eluded Veleno. He's got to go deep into his own zone to scoop it up. Romeo flips it across. And Mo Seider plays the puck around the boards. Not a Berggren. So the Red Wings just could not get going. Berglund is out there on the ice. Now the Leafs steal. Shot from the left side by Lidstrom, and that one wide of the goal.
Now, Toronto has entered this period with a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, and are really all over the Red Wings at this point.
They've got a 2-goal lead as the puck is played now down into the Detroit zone. Stotts in deep for Toronto as the Red Wings prepare the breakout. Berglund has it for Detroit. Lifts it ahead to Kupner over the Toronto line. Leafs batted away and out to center ice. Stotts down the right side. Stotts into the Detroit zone. Put on the brakes in the corner. Checked along the boards is Mikhail Abramov. Now the Wings break back. Up the left side, Loggins. Lane was shut down, now worked it into the corner. In the Toronto zone, Detroit's changing on the go. Lucas Savages, Smith and Pearson up front for Detroit as the Leafs send it out to center. It's broken up. Pearson strides over the line. Quickly, right circle, moving in, he's hauled down, goes crashing in along the end boards. No penalty called on the play. Some pushing and shoving off to the side of the Leaf goal.
Giovanni Smith trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to get Toronto engaged, maybe to fire his team up a little bit. Red Wings a little bit, I would say, lethargic in this second period.
Pearson tried to make a play going wide, and Teemu Kivihalme, who's got 2 goals in the game, came back hard to kind of run him out of real estate right there.
Right, he did. He crashed into the boards. Good thing that he just got up. He's obviously not hurt. But Ken, I've really got to be impressed by the Leafs. I mean, they took that late lead with a second left in the first period, and they've really come out and played some solid, aggressive, and been tenacious on the forecheck.
Seems like every time a white sweater has the puck, the Red Wings, there's a blue Toronto sweater or 2 guys converging on the Red Wing player who has the puck. So not a lot of room out there to maneuver for Detroit.
No, and when they do think that they have a passing or a shooting lane, it's shut down quickly. Either Toronto's getting a stick in it or just a body in front of them. And Red Wings not having a whole lot of time and space in this second period, but certainly they're going to have to find a way to break through this blue wall, if you will, and put some scores, a couple of goals here on the board and get back into this game. They're only down by 2, and there's 12:19 left in the second, so there's still, as we like to say, plenty of hockey, but the Red Wings better turn it around rather quickly.
Well, the Red Wings had to come from behind in that game against Chicago. They were 3 goals down at one point and ended up tying up that hockey game, and they were down the game against St. Louis, and then they scored a pair of 3-goal efforts within a span of 3 minutes, the other one a span of 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Right, so I mean it can be done, but Toronto seems to be a little bit better club. No disrespect towards the Blues and the Blackhawks, but Toronto's playing a solid game.
And again, the Red Wings, to get to the championship game tomorrow, need a win in regulation against the Leafs. In the other rink going on right now, Chicago has a 2-1 lead over the St. Louis Blues in that game in the second period.
Right, now if the Red Wings lose this game in regulation and Chicago wins in regulation, Detroit will be playing
fifth place game.
For 5th place, right? Yeah.
11:45 to play, second period, 4-2 Leafs. Pearson.
I think that game begins at 8 a.m. unless Ken can change the face-off time. Yes, believe me, Mr. Cal has that kind of pull.
Early games tomorrow. I think the first one's at noon, but Casey will bring it ahead and play it out to center ice. You know the Red Wings won't play in that first game, so that's good news as the puck is played down the ice into the Detroit end. Here's a shot off the side of the goal by Mikhail Abramov from the line. A shot by La Rochelle, and that one off a Red Wing stick to flex into the corner. Mo Sider. Gustav Lidstrom in behind the Detroit goal. 15 shots by the Leafs, 13 for the Red Wings, 4-2 Toronto. Wings break out over the Toronto line. Soderblom muscled it out in front of the Leaf goal. It rolls across. Soderblom with a check on his man. Casey bumped it along the corner boards. Yetman scoops it up for Detroit. Got it to Casey, and Scott is deep in his net. Arguchintsev with a shove on his man Soderblom as the Wings are working hard, and now the Leafs come away with it again. Pass out to center. Dastus will send it across to Philip Zadina. Zadina charges over the line, makes his way around one man, cuts inside, then lost the handle of it. Now backing into his man is Berglund. That was Robertson. Kind of a Cronwall check right there
Right,
as he
certainly.
backed into him. So the Red Wings picking it up a little bit, playing a little physical. Sean LaRochelle flips it out to center ice. Back into the Red Wing zone it goes. Make that the Red Wing goaltender Romeo shoveling it into the corner. Joe Veleno out there for Detroit. Zadina chipped it across. Here's Taro Hirose up over the Maple Leaf line, and the Leafs smell it out, and Ellenyuk comes back the other way. Flipped it to the far boards. Now it's Brazeau moving in with a backhand forehand try, and he sent it right through the goal mouth. Lindgren for the Leafs looking for it. Ellenyuk to the left face-off. Circle a shot, and that one wide of the goal. That was a heavy shot right there by Lindgren, and down the ice it goes. Ellenyuk turned it over to Hirose. Hirose in the high slot. He tried to pull it to his forehand to get the shot away, and it was knocked away right there by Kristen Rubens. That was a good play by Rubens, the Leaf defender.
Yeah, again, Toronto playing very well. A lot of action, a lot of up and down action right now for the Red Wings. Maybe that's a good sign they can turn it around. We have had very few whistles in this second period. It's been nonstop play.
Sider with a shot. It ends up along the near wing. Gustav Lidstrom tossed it into the corner. Now the Leafs break out at center ice. Abramov up across the line, cuts in, and he didn't get the shot away. He was bothered in a shooting position. Stotts turns, fires it out in front. Alestroff was covered by the Wings defense. Now a long lead pass out to center. McLeod over the blue line, cuts in, shoots, and the goaltender comes up with a save, Ian Scott, as he caught it with a glove hand right where that Maple Leaf crest is on the front of his jersey.
Yeah, McLeod got that and knew he didn't have much time, so he got the shot off quickly. Unfortunately, it was right into the angle was right towards Scott, who was just standing right there and just made a very easy save.
Daniela, we got some good pace to this second period, don't we?
Definitely, it's been a lot of action the whole time, as Art said. There are very few whistles, so it's been a lot of play and back and forth.
Giovanni Smith out there. Let's see if he tries to engage the Leafs in a little bit of physical activity.
Missed his man with a check.
Yeah.
That was Rubens, as the puck goes all the way down the ice right to the Red Wing netminder, Sean Romeo.
There's a little bit of an elbow there thrown by Giovanni.
Pass off the boards, comes out to center. Hustling after it, Pearson. Play is offside, up across the Toronto blue line. 8:21 to go. We're in the second period, 4-2 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Again, Red Wing goal scorers, Troy Loggins and Taro Hirose. Kiwi Halme with a pair of goals for the Leafs. Robertson and Der Arguchintsev scoring for Toronto as well.
Well, I'm going to say the Red Wings are down now to 5 defensemen in this game. Alex Regula has not returned after going down in the first period with a check to the head.
They seem to be shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely was. He tried to pick up a stick a couple of times, and you know that's a bad sign when he couldn't do it. It's right next to him.
Sometimes you got to get that concussion protocol going, too, as Lindgren slides that puck across. You're always worried about those headshots.
Yeah, definitely.
Bonnie Smith tried to lay it ahead to Zadina. It was off a stick, and now La Rochelle after the puck in the Red Wing zone on Dastu. La Rochelle, the spin move. Dastu took him down, and Smith comes away with a loose puck for Detroit. Smith on a long shift heads over to the Detroit bench. Red Wings settle it down in their own zone. Want to get back into this one. Detroit trailing 4-2. Zadina over the line. Cuts inside, throws it across to Hirose. Taro Hirose to Zadina, and he played it out to the blue line, came out to center, and the Wings shoot it back in McRae. 7:20 to play in the second period. 2-goal lead for Toronto. Long lead pass out to center ice for Korshkov. To the trailer. There are good chin-offs with a shot, and that one off a stick and into the protective netting. Chintsev with that shot right there.
As we said, good pace of the game, not many whistles, but Toronto pretty much dictating the play. The Red Wings are being bottled up, trying to fight through everything that Toronto's throwing at them, but I would imagine at this point the Leafs have to feel pretty good about this second period.
One thing Toronto has not allowed are many odd man opportunities. I think I've counted one or maybe two during the course of this game.
I'm trying to think back too. I think you might be right. Now the Red Wings haven't either, but this has been a pretty close checking, tight affair.
Wing steal, Veleno in front. He's got 4 goals in the tournament. Shot by McRae, a wrister sails wide of the goal. Puck is back into the corner in the Toronto zone. They work for it. Into the high slot. It's lifted out to center ice by Korshkov. In front of the penalty box, the Leafs shoot it in behind the Red Wing goal. Zadina looking for a pass, but it was broken up just inside the Red Wing blue line. Into the corner. Crawl goes after it. Now to Brazeau. Brazeau stick handles through traffic. Backhands it around the near side of La Rochelle. La Rochelle dumping it behind the goal. Brazeau tied up. Now it's sent into the corner. Brazeau, first man to the puck for Toronto. Steers that puck down low. They battle for it along the boards. Nicholas Robertson. Puck comes out towards the line. Out to center. Casey races after the puck. Goaltender comes out. Scott to play it away. Now the Leafs back up across the line. Robertson dropped past Brazeau. Left circle. Cutting his way in. Tried to center it out in front. It was broken up by Mo Seider, and the Wings will just dump it all the way down the ice. Icing called against Detroit.
One of the Leafs was parked right on the side of the open net there. Good thing that pass did not get through. We might be looking at a 5-2 score.
Well, the Maple Leaf goaltender, Ian Scott, has faced 14 Red Wing shots in the game. He's from Calgary, Alberta, played for Prince Albert in the Western Hockey League. Pretty good save percentage. He won 38 games last year, 49 games played, 9.32 goals against average.
Yeah, that's pretty good numbers. What is he, a 4th round pick, I believe, for Toronto?
He's been solid in goal for the Maple Leafs here tonight.
Leafs have a couple of good, solid picks.
Wing steal. Casey moves in, and the puck was knocked away right there by Der Ogachentsev just when he was ready to pull the trigger.
Right, he was ready, and that's been the story of the game. The Leafs have been all over the Red Wings, especially when they seem to have chances. Toronto's been there to either block the puck or take it away.
Korshkov moves in left circle on Mo Seider. Circles in behind the Red Wing goal, put on the brakes. Seider goes down, gets up quickly, bothers him in along the corner boards. Now at the center ice, the puck squirts free, and TV Halme has it. 2 goals in the game for him. Slides it across as the Leafs break out of their own zone. Mac Hollowell over to the left side. Leafs move in. Back in behind the goal. Mo Seider intercepts for Detroit. Hammers it up the right wing. Kupner had it knocked away from him. Stotts into the Red Wing zone. Pulls the trigger, and Romeo with the save. 4:25 left to play in the second period. It's 4-2 Toronto.
I'm not sure, Ken, if you're on the Red Wing bench or you're Ben Simon, what are you thinking right now? What are you trying to tell the guys? Just continue to fight through Toronto's forecheck, and something will happen.
It definitely feels like the majority of this game has been played in the Red Wings' defensive end, so I think they need to just find something and make it happen on the offensive zone, maybe keep a little more possession. I know Toronto's making it very difficult for them right now.
We look at the shots on goal pretty even. 16 for the Leafs, 14 for Detroit, but you're right, Daniela. It seems like the Leafs have been getting some pressure in that Red Wing zone and bottling up Detroit. And in the pregame show, we were talking about the Red Wings trying to force and grind their way into that Maple Leaf zone. They did it on occasion in the first period, but not so much here in the second.
Right, and I think, Ken, even though sometimes this is where a shot total might be a bit deceiving, out of those 16 shots, Toronto's been storming the Detroit net. I mean, really, Romeo's been under siege at times, and he's made some really good saves. And whereas opposed to the Red Wings, Toronto's done a good job of keeping them out on the perimeter. And if the goaltender can see the shot, almost 10 out of 10 times he's going to make that save. And that's really pretty much the story of this hockey game.
And again, the Red Wings aren't getting those second and third opportunities.
They're not, and that's because most of the shots are coming from the perimeter, and they're not getting any rebounds. Scott can see it, and he makes the save and freezes the puck.
There's Korshkov in the corner with a feed pass, misfiring La Rochelle, the defenseman, as he was cruising in from the blue line. Kupner for Detroit, hangs on, gets it out to center to Loggins. Loggins with a feed, and that's behind his man. Korshkov into the Red Wing zone down the middle. Seider lifted his stick. Now it's scooped up, played back. Here's a shot taken right there by Rubens, and the save was made in goal by Sean Romeo, and the sticks get up. Korshkov in there, and one of the Red Wings. Wings are making a change. Pearson, Lucas Savages, and Smith out onto the ice for Detroit, with Berglund and Seider out there on the blue line.
That was McLeod who was getting into it a little bit with the Maple Leafs.
Nelson, Bradley, Estefan for the Leafs. Rubens on the right point, Lindgren on the left for Toronto. 3:49 to play in the second period. Leafs with a 2-goal lead over the Red Wings 4-2. Sider taps it up the right side out to center ice.
Be nice to see if this line with Giovanni Smith and Chase Pearson could get something going. Detroit needing to find a spark here someplace. Be nice to see if their second line could come through for them.
Puck deflected over the sideboards into the crowd here at Center Ice Arena.
Art, last game you talked about getting our big name guys to make a play and get something going for the Red Wings. I think that's kind of the same thing that needs to happen in this period. They looked a lot better in the first period. I think the second period, everyone's been pretty quiet.
Well, I agree with you. And they've done it in the past. They being Villano, Hiroshi,
Smith with a shot on goal and the save made by Scott.
And also Zadina. But right now, I think the Red Wings would be willing to take a little bit of control of this game.
Got a penalty coming up here, and let's see what's on as the play is whistled down in that Red Wing zone. This is the 2019 Prospects Tournament live streaming, and it's presented by Huntington Bank. Toronto getting the penalty here, Art.
87 blue, high stick.
Matt Bradley. Great opportunity late in the second period for the Red Wings to close the gap a little bit. It's 4-2 Toronto.
Right, and this was kind of we've seen it in the second period, the first two games by the Red Wings. This is the period where they start to get their mojo going, but thus far, the Leafs have really been able to shut Detroit's attack down.
Taro Hiroshi on the left side, Boleno in the middle, Smith on the right side, Sider on the point with Zadina. Leafs control the face-off, though, and fire it all the way down the ice. So the Wings get it set up. Mo Sider bringing it forward for Detroit. Leafs with a 4-2 lead. Red Wings trying to capitalize on the power play. Boleno sticked it deeper into the Toronto zone. Not a Leaf steal. Short-handed they come. Howell up across the line. Tried to thread the needle to the forward, Seaman Der Arguchintsev, but the Red Wings batted it away. Back skates Boleno. Out to center ice to Hiroshi to Boleno. Into the Toronto zone. Now to Giovanni Smith. Has an opening. Pulls the trigger, and the save was made by Scott and trickled just wide of the goal.
Really nice shot there by Giovanni, but Smith was there, or Scott was there.
Red Wings get it set up. Here's Zadina moving in with a shot. Knocked down. Save made. Rebound Smith. Couldn't control it. He's pushed into the corner. Back on the line. Sider calling for the puck. Boleno. He gets it. Boleno shoots. Oh, and trying to redirect it home with Smith off to the side of the goal. Red Wings a bit dangerous, trying to connect on the power play. 2:05 to go in the second period. Zadina. Now to Boleno. He's had the hot hand. Shoots! And the save was made right there by Scott again. Hiroshi digs the puck loose, swings it to the line to Mo Sider. All Detroit here on the power play. He shoots one wide of the goal. Zadina on the rebound for Detroit. Hanging onto the puck, Philip Zadina. Chased into the corner by Eliuk. Now Sider to the right side. Hiroshi fires that puck off the stick of Boleno wide of the goal. Rebound cleared out to the blue line. Sider holds it in. Good play. Red Wings still alive in the Toronto zone. Finally, it's chipped out of harm's way by Eliuk. Red Wings trying to capitalize on the power play. 15 seconds to go on the man advantage. Wings on a change. Lucas Savages to the right point. Hiroshi to Sider. Sider hanging onto the puck. Screen shot. Scores! That one, I believe, off of Pearson and into the net. We'll have to wait and see. But the Red Wings on the power play make it a one-goal game. Toronto 4 and the Wings 3 with 1:18 to go in the second period.
That's okay. Sider looking to make a play. Really wanted to get it over to the winger on the point, but it couldn't have happened, and so he just shot it there. And Ken, as you know, they say you shoot on net, shoot towards the puck. You know what happens. And that one, Red Wings now only down by a goal, 4-3.
It went in off a body in front. I think it went off the body of Pearson. We'll have to wait for the official call, but the Red Wings connect on the power play at 18:42, and it's a one-goal game, 4-3 Toronto.
So that's another power play goal for the Red Wings. They've been hot on the power play this tournament.
Absolutely. Here's Pearson now trying to track down the puck in the Maple Leaf zone. Minute to go in the second period. That's a huge goal for Detroit. Again, the Red Wings need a win in regulation if they want to get to the championship game. Wing steal. Pearson again. Pass in front. It bounces towards the side of the goal. Now up the right side. Brazeau chipping it out to center ice. Wings continue to be on the attack. Gustav Lidstrom steers it away from an oncoming Robertson. Lidstrom to Kuffner, up across the Maple Leaf line. Kuffner gets away from Lindgren, the Leaf defender. Into the corner, bothered by a couple Leafs. Now here's a shot by Soderblom, and he just missed.
He missed. He almost, that was labeled to go in.
22 seconds to go in the period. Leafs bring it ahead. Lindgren at center, floats it into the Red Wing zone. Lindgren. Gustav Lidstrom gets it ahead over the line. McLeod dropping it back. Here's a feed in front, and Logan scores!
Beautiful play there by McLeod, really.
Logan scores the goal to tie the game 4-4 with 8.8 seconds left to go in the second period.
That's Logan's second of the night, but as you said, Art, McLeod really made that one happen.
Yeah, he really did. He found him, and Logan's tipped it right home. Not much for Scott to do on that play, but again, the Red Wings have shown this resiliency. This is the third game in a row in the second period. They have been able to come back from a deficit and take, in this case, tie the game up, and against Chicago, tie the game up too. But the way you look at it, you've got to give the Red Wings some credit here because they had not, Toronto had been the better team for most of this period, but suddenly it's 4-4.
2 goals in just a little over a minute for the Red Wings late in the second period. There goes the horn. The period comes to a close, and listen to this Red Wing crowd here at Traverse City Center Ice Arena. Pearson and Logan scoring. It's 4-4 after 40 minutes.
Well, you got to be happy with that period. It looked like the Red Wings were going to have a huge task at hand heading into the third, and now it's a tie game. So great turn of events there at the end.
You would have told me about 4 minutes ago that this game would be tied at the end of 2. I would have told you were crazy. But obviously the Red Wings again have come on. That power play goal, again, it starts with a power play for him, ignites him, and then Loggins and McLeod hook up on a really nice passing play there. And we're 4-4, so it's anybody's game, meaning that the Red Wings could still be in that championship game tomorrow.
And Art, you talked about the Red Wings shooting from the perimeter. You look at those last 2 goals, and they were shots from basically in front of the goaltender. So,
right.
So that's where you need to be. You need to be in those dirty spots, and the Red Wings capitalize with the power play goal and an even strength tally.
Great last couple of minutes there. We're going to throw down to Carly Johnston at ice level. Carly, what's going on down there?
I'm here with Tara Hiroshi, who just got his first goal of the tournament in the first period. It's got to feel pretty good to finally get the puck in the net.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think just the first couple games I wasn't really shooting the puck, and that was my main focus coming to the game, just get some pucks on net.
Do you feel any sort of added pressure wearing that letter on your chest in this prospects tournament to bring your team to the championship?
Not really. I think it's just an honor that the guys, respect me like that, and just try and speak up in the room and get the guys going for each period.
All right, another huge second period in this tournament. You guys were able to tie the game back up. How's it feel?
Feels really good. I think for most of the period we weren't really playing our game and not managing the puck well, but the last couple of minutes there, it happens fast, and we'll be carrying a lot of momentum in the third period.
Okay, so we need a big third period from you guys because you need a win in regulation to head to the championship. So how are you going to keep the ball rolling in this third period?
Yeah, I think just getting pucks in, managing pucks at the blue lines, and not giving them any opportunities to get chances, and trying to sort of slow them down in the neutral zone.
All right, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. All right, well, we're going to head to break, but right after, we're going to go into the third period looking for a big dub for Detroit.
Welcome back to the 2019 Prospects Tournament live stream presented by Huntington Bank. And boy, are we in for an exciting third period.
Wow, 2 quick goals by the Red Wings in a little over a minute. One of them on the power play, but Loggins with a pair of goals for the Red Wings. 2 huge goals. That sets up a pretty good third period. Again, to our listeners out there and viewers, the Red Wings need to win this game in regulation to advance to the championship game tomorrow. So it brings up an interesting scenario, Daniela and Art. If the Red Wings are tied with maybe 2.5, 3 minutes to go, we'll keep an eye on the goaltender to be pulled because the Wings, in order for them to advance, need to win this in regulation.
And certainly that is a possibility. Wouldn't that be exciting?
Yes, it would be. All right, we're ready to go. Hiroshi, Lucas Savages, and Valeno out there to start for Detroit. Third period underway, fresh sheet of ice. Mo Sider has it for the Wings, out to center ice. Stick handles his way over the Leaf line. Snaps the shot that deflects off a stick and into the protective netting. So we're 11 seconds into the third, and a face-off coming up deep in the Toronto zone.
Lidstrom and Sider out there as the pair, so it looks like Gustav Lidstrom has moved up to the top pair along with Mo Sider on the blue line. Has not looked out of place, which is a good sign because obviously second-round pick in 2017, 38th overall by the Red Wings.
Here's Valeno saucering it to the line, and eluded Sider, and all the way down to the ice to the goaltender for Detroit. Sean Romeo has played strong between the pipes. Sider twisting and turning in the corner. Now the puck is turned over, comes back towards the line. Hollowell got it down low into the corner. Rizzo trying to jam away with the puck. Gustav Lidstrom lost an edge. Sider comes away with the puck, reverses the flow to get it to Lidstrom. Lidstrom passes it out to center ice, and Kivi Holme steers it to the Detroit line. Ellenyuk shoots it in. Timu Kivi Holme's got 2 goals for the Leafs in this contest. Lidstrom brings it ahead. 4-4 tie early in the third. Lindgren along the far boards, battling with Taro Hiroshi. Hiroshi shot the puck off the stick of Der Arguchintsev. Quickly hands it ahead over the line. Smith tapping it away, and now Pearson steals to deflect it out of harm's way out to center ice. Der Arguchintsev goes after the puck along the bench area. Now Der Arguchintsev up across the Red Wing blue line. Snaps it down low. Centering attempt. Pearson steers it away. Giovanni Smith lifts it out to center ice. Der Arguchintsev battling with Zadina. Now it's stolen by Smith. He moves in with a shot, and that's off the stick of the defenseman Timu Kivi Holme and into the protective netting.
Chase Pearson's played a good game on both ends of the ice. He's had some scoring chances, and also great play there coming back on the play to nullify a Toronto scoring chance.
And we have a score that's a final now. St. Louis with a 4-2 win over the Blackhawks.
So that means any way you look at it, the Red Wings are going to finish second in the Howe division.
They will, if they lose this game,
they'll play for
third place.
Right,
so they can't go any lower than third place.
Right. There you go. And
they have a chance, if they win in regulation here against the Leafs, to go to the championship game against the Dallas Stars. Here's McLeod with a nice feed, and he tried a little dipsy-do there, got the shot. It was blocked. Never did make it through to Ian Scott. Had to think about that one.
Yeah, I know. I kind of threw you. Well, I was thinking too to myself, because if you look at the way the Lindsay and Howe divisions shake out, the Lindsay division is much, much stronger than the Howe division this year in the tournament.
Up the left wing boards. Here is the Red Wing forward, Troy Loggins. Pair of goals in the game. He'll work it in. How about Capo Keiko? Played his first game today for the Rangers. A 4-point effort. 1 goal, 3 assists, and he had the game winner on a double wraparound to win it for the Rangers.
Well, we've seen that before. I mean, that kid is just nothing but talent.
Crawl, left circle, moves in. Shot one wide of the goal. La Rochelle holds it in for Toronto at the right point. Steers it now. Alice drop down low, twisting and turning. Make that Abramov. Got it across. Crawl chased down by Zadina. Smith looking for a loose puck for Detroit. Out the center he comes. Over the line. Zadina cuts to the high slot. Now it's forced by the Leafs, and they have it inside their own zone. Crawl settles it down. Game tied 4-4. Robertson for the Leafs. Watched by Soderblom. Steers it across, out of harm's way to La Rochelle, and he'll dump the puck in behind the Red Wing goal. Berglund for Detroit. Now to Dastu. His pass misses everybody. Travels down the ice, and Rubens after it. This will be an icing call against Detroit. 16:34 to play in the third period. Game tied 4-4.
This whole game has had a really good pace to it. Very few whistles, and no exception to start this third period. Pretty evenly played at this point, as both teams really trying to press the issue, but the other team fighting back because certainly a tie game.
Well, if you're the Red Wings, you do not want to give up that next goal to Maple Leafs, but you want to score that one in the worst possible way.
Right, and if you're Toronto, not that they're looking at the scoreboard, but this is right now. This is a win for them at 4-4.
Exactly. But if you're Toronto, you don't want to get into that defensive mode where you're just sitting back.
No, and they're not. I mean, one thing I will say about this Leafs club is that they're pretty aggressive and they're great on the forecheck.
Down low, Elleniuk centers it. Look out, a shot, and the save made by Romeo from a sharp angle out in front. Wings bottled up in their own zone at the moment. Berglund with a check on his man. After the loose puck, Dastu. Now the Leafs intercept again, Elleniuk. Backhands it in front of the goal. Look out, it's swept away by the Red Wing player Soderblom. Berglund up the near wing to Yetman. The Red Wings trying to catch the Leafs on a change. Yetman over the blue line with Soderblom. Soderblom gets the feed, trying to make his way in, and he had it poked off his stick at the last second. Arguchintsev. Now Conrad, now the right circle, a shot right there by Igor Korshkov, and the save made by Sean Romeo.
Sean Romeo has had to be pretty active so far in this third period.
The thing I really like about Sean is he holds his ground, but he moves side to side really, really well, and he's pretty good at anticipating the play. He has been impressive, and he's a free agent from The Ohio State University, an invitee here. So we'll see if the Sean Romeo earns himself a contract. I think he's going to be up at camp. I think he's going to make at least an invite to Red Wing camp that begins later this week.
Sider calm of the puck, makes a good feed to Veleno. Veleno up across the line. Sider pinching in, taking a chance here, forcing the issue. Timu Kivihalme coming away with a puck, and now it's out to center ice. Conrad in front of both players' benches took a whack at it. Veleno comes back for Detroit, quickly hands it off to Lucas Savages. Into the corner, Kivihalme for the Leafs to tap it around the near side. Nelson takes it deeper, and now Kivihalme got it across. Leafs pick it up and played by Hollowell. Down the ice, a foot race for the puck. Nelson and McRae. McRae wins the foot race. Icing is called against the Maple Leafs. 14:36 to play in regulation, and it's a 4-4 tie.
Red Wings out shooting Toronto right now, 22-19.
Wings got those 2 goals late in the second period, and for the most part here in the third have come out pretty strong. The Leafs have had a couple of chances. Sean Romeo has stood tall, made some big saves in goal for Detroit. Even Halme bumped off the puck. McRae from center will rifle it in.
Well, certainly for the Red Wings, you got to feel good right now because you did tie this game up late in the second period.
Out at center ice, Matt Bradley shoots it into the Detroit end. Berglund steers it away from an oncoming Estefan. Now the Wings settle it down again. Berglund in behind the Red Wing goal, watched by Estefan. Pass out to center ice, misses everybody, and La Rochelle has it at the Maple Leaf blue line. Steers it across. Now Crawl out to center ice away from McLeod into the Red Wing zone. Fired the shot. That one off the crossbar. Oh, he just missed. Wings got a break. Here they come the other way. Wings McLeod over the blue line, trying to cut inside. The trailer was Smith, and it was batted away from him. And out to center ice by Crawl. Following up, Elleniuk on a long shift. 3 men back for Detroit. Puck stolen by Smith. Turns out to center. Robertson took him down, but the play continues. And the play whistled down out at center ice.
Ref saying no penalty on that.
Icing's the call, so that means the Leafs can't make a change. I think the fans here thought maybe there would be a penalty on the play, although Smith was tripped by Robertson.
He was tripped, and Chase Pearson skated by the ref, and he was saying, what do you mean no penalty?
Well, if you're the Leafs, you do not want to take a penalty because the Wings' power play has been terrific.
Right. 7 power play goals thus far in the tournament.
Pearson, he is going in for the draw against Abramov. 13:23 to go, 4-4, that's our score. Red Wings, again, they have to win this game in regulation in order to advance to the championship tomorrow against the Dallas Stars, who won their division. Here's Zadina over across the line. Dastu in deep. Now it's Pearson again. Stick handles. Got it back to Lidstrom. Back down low into the corner for Pearson. Rubens with a check on him. Zadina has it. Zadina muscles it to the blue line to Dastu. Dastu to Lidstrom. Lidstrom fired the shot, and that one wide of the goal. Zadina was ducking out of the play. Leafs shoot it out to center. I think you might see the Red Wings changing up their line combination to get the big guns on the ice. Here's Zadina with a shot, glove save, rebound, scores! Pearson scores the goal, and the Red Wings have taken a 5-4 lead with 12:43 to go in regulation.
Right, the Leafs kind of got lost and a little bit involved with Giovanni Smith, who was right in front of the net on the crease, and that just allowed Smooth Pearson.
Smooth Pearson.
The peach to score that goal. Nice
Zadina in there too. Zadina.
Oh yeah.
Original shot.
Daniela, that's a good point. That hard shot was off the glove of the goaltender, Scott, and you force the goaltender to make the initial save, and there's Pearson to bang it home.
To bang it home, and Smith right in the crease in front of the net, and the Leafs were trying to clear him, and boom, before you know it, the Red Wings now have a 5-4 lead.
Play whistle down inside the Maple Leaf zone. So a big goal. That's his second goal of the game for Chase Pearson, and it's a 5-4 Red Wing lead.
So now the Red Wings have the lead. Are they playing this game any differently than they were just a couple minutes ago?
I don't think you can. I mean, Toronto's a pretty aggressive team. I mean, I think you just have to match them for intensity,
right,
and just continue to play your game. I mean, this is not, Toronto. I mean, now looking at it, all they need to do is just tie the game up and get it into overtime, and they're playing for the championship tomorrow. So there's there's pressure on the Leafs. I'm not going to say there isn't, but there's still more pressure on the Red Wings to just build upon this lead to make sure that they win this game in regulation.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Just continue to force the issue and try to bottle up the Maple Leafs, but also you have to be good defensively in your own zone, and you can't turn the puck over.
Right, and let's say this, too. I mean, the Red Wings have been playing with 5 defensemen since about midway through the first period. And against this pretty formidable Toronto lineup, which has scored, coming into this game, has scored 12 goals. They now have 16 goals total in this tournament. Well, the Red Wings have been doing a pretty good job defensively.
Chase Pearson with the go-ahead goal. He has 2 goals in the game. Troy Loggins with a pair of goals for the Red Wings. So you're getting some scoring from guys that we haven't seen score on a regular basis in the tournament so far, and that's a good sign.
Anytime a club that makes a successful championship run, as you very well know, Ken, it is the secondary scoring that seems to at least come through and win at least one game or a big game during a team's championship run. The Red Wings, and I know I'm jumping ahead of myself, could point to this game perhaps as being that game.
Well, now you want a big gun to kind of step up and get you an insurance goal, as Sider will pick it up.
Right. Yeah. Now this is
5-4 Detroit. 11:42 to play in regulation.
And Hirose and Veleno are out there right now. Now the Red Wings making a line change, though.
Robertson after the puck, wing steal. Here's a feed in front. Bumped off the puck was McLeod as he is making his way in. Looking for the hat trick there, and the goaltender, Ian Scott, makes the save.
Solid effort by McLeod to get that shot off.
Gregor McLeod?
Oops, I said McLeod looking for the hat trick. I meant Loggins, but that was
right.
McLeod with the chance.
Yes, that was.
Gregor McLeod. Yesterday, the Red Wing prospects visited the Cherryland Humane Society. We've got a penalty by Toronto.
Boy, and that is a good thing for Detroit. They go on the power play with 11:29 to go, and the Red Wings power play in this tournament, we've talked about it. It's been terrific. They do have the Red Wings a power play goal in the game. And here we'll set it up for you. Smith, Hirose, and Veleno up front with Zadina on the right point and Mo Sider on the left.
And this has been the Red Wings' #1 power play unit throughout the tournament.
Boy, the Wings would like to get one here. Again, the Red Wings have to win this one in regulation to be in the championship game tomorrow against the Dallas Stars. Bradley steals as he cut through a couple of Red Wing players and lifts a backhand down the ice.
Yeah, Veleno won that draw, but Bradley just jumped the gun and went in between Joe and grabbed the puck. The Red Wings have to start from their own end.
Lane was shut down for Zadina, twisting and turning, moves it away from Ellenyuk. The Red Wings, Sider brings it ahead. Feed pass out to center to Taro Hirose into the Toronto zone. Hirose shoots it in. That one off a Leaf stick into the protective netting. Minute 33 remaining in the Red Wing man advantage. Face-off will come up in the Toronto zone.
Second unit coming out now, and obviously on that unit, Chase Pearson, who has a couple of goals, looking for a hat trick tonight. Ryan Kuffner on the point along with Gustav Lidstrom.
So some firepower out there for Detroit. Leafs win the faceoff though, and it's whistled all the way down the ice by Jesper Lindgren, the Leaf defenseman, all the way down the ice. 25 shots by the Red Wings in the game, 19 for the Toronto Maple Leafs, 5 for Detroit. Out to center ice, Dastu. Make that McLeod. Into the corner. Rubens after the puck for the Leafs with McLeod. Lindgren trying to jam it away for Toronto. Comes up the left wing wall. Held in by Lidstrom. Swings it over. Right side to Kuffner. He's got the shot. He fired it, and that went off a skate of Rubens, who goes after the puck in the corner and didn't clear it out. Hustling after it for Detroit. Lucas Savages now to Lidstrom. Left circle feed. McLeod with a shot. Rebound on the doorstep. Wings poking away at it, but the goaltender Scott covers up. A lot of bodies out in front of the goal. One of them Pearson.
Pearson and Lucas Savages, they were right in there digging for that puck. Yeah, I know the Red Wings are on a power play here, but Toronto's starting to hold the sticks a little tighter, look a little bit winded at this point. Detroit has had the energy, has taken over this game.
And some of the big guns right back out there for Detroit. Smith, Hirose, and Veleno with Zadina and Sider on the points.
45 seconds left. They're giving this one.
Here's Zadina with a shot on goal, and it was a one-time effort trying to score from long range. Philip Zadina, Scott the save. Quick whistle as Scott gives up no rebound.
And Giovanni Smith ripping off a Leaf helmet.
Well, the Wings got to be careful. You don't want to take a penalty here while you're on the power play. 5-4 Detroit, halfway through the third, 10-11 to go.
I think that was a harmless love tap, Ken.
That was Lindgren who had his helmet knocked off. Now he's trying to adjust it a little bit.
Trying to buy some time for his team because they're winded. Good move by him, actually.
Have a veteran move by a young prospect right there.
And obviously his hair has to look just right in that helmet. Danielle, you can relate to that, Danielle.
Oh, yeah. I would have a hard time with a helmet.
Where's the mirror?
I'd always be fixing my hair.
Need the mirror out there.
Little inside joke there, ladies and gentlemen.
Wings control. Here is Veleno. Fakes the shot. Steers away from Bradley. Pulls up left circle. Down low, Smith with a power move in front, trying to go upstairs on Scott, who came up with a save and a quick whistle. 26 seconds remaining in the Red Wing power play.
No, Giovanni Smith's a load. He can't be moved when he gets in there. When he makes his mind and parks himself in front of the net, it's going to take a Herculean effort to move him. Hey, that was about the only play he could make. He didn't really have anything. The lanes were shut off, and moved strong to the net and tried to jam that puck home.
5-4 Detroit, 9:55 to go in the third period. From the draw, here's Mo Sider, not as Zadina. Thought about shooting. Instead, he backpedals his way to the sideboards. To the line to Sider. Sider, left circle feed. Hirose fired the shot off a stick, and that one ends up in the corner. Puck is finally cleared all the way down the ice by the Leafs to the side of Romeo.
Time's going to run out on this power play.
Wings settle it down. Sider up the left side boards to Hirose, now to Veleno. Penalty is over. Leafs are at full strength, so that's a big penalty kill for them. Wings lead 5-4, halfway through the third. Zadina trying to bury it from right out in front, and the save made by Scott, and the Red Wing goes crashing in along the boards. In behind the net, that's Joe Veleno. He's okay, I believe. Slow getting up, though.
A little slow getting up. Great play. You just saw Zadina there. I mean, he just used the backhand and almost scored. Veleno going to skate by us now. Mo Sider saying, you're okay. You're all right.
Loggins, McLeod, Berglund, Dastu, and Soderblom out there for Detroit. So Wings couldn't capitalize with their man advantage.
You know, Elmer's been close tonight. I think they're going to say Soderblom's going to do something before this game's over.
Bradley's pass broken up. Now he sticks it ahead. Korshkov got it over the line. Now makes his way into the Red Wing zone. If you're the Wings, you don't want to take a minor penalty here. 9 minutes to go in the third. Detroit leading 5-4.
No, don't give it to him. Make him earn it.
Here's a shot from the side by Kiwi Halme, and the save was made down low. Korshkov with a bad angle shot. Romeo the save.
And Romeo lost sight of that puck. He had no idea where it was.
Bradley throws it across. Hollowell down low. In deep, Kevin Halme turns, fires, save made by Romeo. Trying to jam it home. Korshkov, a scramble out in front of the goal. Leafs are threatening. In behind the goal, the Wings shoot it up the boards, not out. Hallway holds it in. Hallway straddles the blue line, finds an opening left side, moves in, shoots the puck, and that one ends up in the corner.
Wow, this is a little bit dangerous right now. The Red Wings just hanging on.
And Wings got to make a change here, but the puck is deep in their own zone. Here's a feed out in front. Korshkov looking for the loose puck. It's in his skates. Estefan picks it up for the Leafs. All Toronto right here, 5-4 Detroit. Ellenyuk to Hallwell. Left circle feed, down low, circling the net. Ellenyuk turns to the right circle, now into the slot to La Rochelle. Leafs are changing. Ellenyuk trying to make his way in. It's stopped. Back to the blue line it comes. Robertson to Brazeau. All Toronto right now. La Rochelle with a shot. Save made. That's a huge save by the Red Wing goaltender, Sean Romeo, with Toronto pressuring Detroit.
Toronto was able to make a complete change on the ice. They were all fresh, and the Red Wings were just out there forever, what seemed like an eternity. It almost seemed like Toronto was on a power play in that last week sequence, Ken. But Romeo coming up big so far. This young man has really done a fine job. And, good thing about that was he made the save, no rebound, froze the puck, and allowed the Red Wings to change players.
Excellent point, Art. And, boy, the Red Wings were reeling in their own zone right there. It was all Toronto.
It really was. But a lot of time went off the clock. Only 7:40 left and counting right now.
Well, the thing you didn't want either with the fresh legs for the Leafs is you didn't want to take a minor penalty. Because when you're tired, sometimes you'll drag a guy down.
Right, and that's why the key was Romeo making that save and freezing that puck. That was the best outcome for the Red Wings.
Lindgren at the right point. A lot of traffic in front with a shot. And trying to redirect it was Arguchintsev, and another save by the Red Wing netminder Romeo.
You're right. You can tell that the Leafs are trying to bait the Red Wings in a little bit. And Sedina just got hit in the face.
That was Robertson.
Now the referee, Sedina looking, what am I going to get embellishing?
Nope, I don't think any penalty
yeah, people were kind of wondering.
All right, both teams make the change. 7:22 to play in the third period. For a moment there, I thought he was going to call a penalty against Detroit.
Yeah, I thought Sedina was going to get embellishing or something. I was wondering what the heck that was going on. It's getting a little nasty out there, and the crowd's language is starting to get flowery too.
Sider roughing up his man in the corner. Got to be careful. Comes back to Lindgren. Toronto on the attack again. Kralt with a centering attempt. Look out. Here's a shot wide of the goal by Robertson. Now a centering attempt out in front. Still loose in the Red Wings. Valeno fires it all the way to the goaltender. That nullifies the icing call and allow the Red Wings to make a change.
Really, Detroit's really got to regroup here. Toronto has just been bombarding the Detroit zone.
Well, the Leafs know that if the Red Wings win this game in regulation, they're in the championship game. Leafs just want to tie it up, force it into overtime. Valeno, who used a lot of gas on that last shift down there. Look out, here's a chance from right out in front. Oh, trying to score the goal right there was Colt Conrad, and the save was made by Romeo. That's another big save for the Red Wing netminder.
Yeah, and right now we're getting all kinds of scrums after the whistle. You would think if this is going to be the case, if this is how this game's going to end, that the officials would try to take control and send a player from each side off. Because both teams guilty of a little bit of shenanigans right now after the play.
Well, with 6:32 remaining, we get a little bit of a breather here. And boy, Daniela, this has been a pretty spirited performance by the Red Wings, and now the Leafs are coming on.
This has been, and the Maple Leafs, you got to give them credit. The beginning of this period didn't look so good for them, but they have shown that they're ready and they're here to play. And like you said, Ken, it's in the back of their head that if they don't get this one to overtime, they're not going to the championship.
Right. All they need is a point, and they're very well aware of that. And they've been pressing, and they've really been taking the play. Red Wings, on the other hand, have to play a little more controlled, a little more disciplined, because you can see it. The Leafs are now starting to ratchet up their intensity level, and they're trying to bait Detroit a little bit into perhaps getting a penalty. Red Wings still miffed about Zadina going down with no call.
I don't think you're going to see too many power plays this late in the game with so much riding on the line right now.
No, I think that,
How about Sean Romeo? I mean, what a
well,
he's made some big saves.
He's the number one star just based on what he's done. Red Wings still have outshot the Leafs 30-25, but still, Romeo has been the difference in this game. I mean, Toronto is all over the Detroit net. Nothing on the perimeters per se. And they've had great quality scoring opportunities, a lot more than the Red Wings have.
Here come the Wings. McLeod with a feed pass. Kupner after it with Hallwell in the corner now as the Red Wings force the issue in the Toronto zone. Kiwi Halme out to center ice. Smooth defenseman, gets it up the left wing into the Red Wing zone. Here's a pass in front to Alenyuk, and it hit him in the leg. He's hurting a little bit. Berglund up the left wing boards, pushed it out to center ice. You don't want to spend much time in your own zone. Just keep forcing the issue. That's what the Red Wings want to do in the Maple Leaf end.
No, the Red Wings are going for the quick change, too, especially on the back end because they are playing with only 5D.
5:50 to go in regulation. 5-4 Detroit. Kupner forces the puck down low in the corner in the Toronto zone. They still battle for it. Referee does not blow the whistle. Time coming off the clock. That helps Detroit.
Yeah, I think the Red Wings say, we can do this all game.
Now the Leafs trying to get it out. Alenyuk backhands it out to center. Dastu steals. Along the wall, makes his way onside over the blue line. Into the corner on Lindgren, and they collide in along the end boards. Giovanni Smith, big load he is, played that puck around the boards. Leafs settle it down and ship it out to center ice. Lindgren got it up across the Detroit blue line. It's shoveled into the corner. He goes after it himself. 5 minutes to go in the third period. It's a one-goal Red Wing lead, 5-4. Out to center ice, Rubens. Knocked it away from Zadina. Zadina not giving up, tapped it up across the Toronto line. Delayed offside, Red Wings tag up, and again, the Leafs have to set it up inside their own end.
Red Wings doing a pretty good job of keeping Toronto bottled up, considering the Leafs were all over the Detroit net just minutes ago.
There's Mo Seider firing it off the boards to center. Hollowell got it across the ice for Dare Arguchintsev. Slings it back to Rubens. Rubens fires a rink-wide feed. Seider read it beautifully to break it up. On the attack comes Detroit. Seider with a feed out in front, intended for Veleno, right to the goaltender Scott, who turned it aside.
Seider again showing just great anticipation.
Yeah, he has really made some great plays and just played very calm out of the back. And we haven't been talking about him too much just because of everything else going on, but he's been playing really well.
Shot trying to go upstairs off the body of Romeo. Into the corner, 4 minutes to go, third period. Seider looks up, flipped it up the boards. Leafs steal. Crawl trying to hold it in from the line. Into the corner, Joe Veleno. Veleno spins away from traffic. Hammers it ahead. It bounces now in the high slot. Two Leafs collide. Bradley and Brazeau, and the Leafs out to center. Stotts carries over the blue line away from Lucas Savages to dump it in. Look out. Puck almost eluded the goaltender there for Detroit. Romeo. It's into the corner. 3.5 to go. Down the left wing. Red Wings bring it in. Here is Loggins with a fired shot, and that one wide of the goal as he tried to score. Berglund from center hammers it into the Maple Leaf end.
Loggins also looking for a hat trick.
Pearson and Loggins with a pair of goals in this game. Pearson's second goal, the go-ahead goal, giving Detroit the 5-4 lead. 3 minutes to play in regulation.
Ken, I know you mentioned the Red Wings may be pulling their goaltender. Is that something the Maple Leafs might do here in the next?
Absolutely.
Oh, without question.
In behind the goal, Pearson. Trying to fend off a check. It's stolen, though. Alenyuk at center ice for the Leafs to dump it into the Detroit end. 2:45 to play. Wings need a victory in regulation to get into the championship game against the Dallas Stars tomorrow.
If the Toronto doesn't tie it up right around that 2-minute mark, I think you'll see Toronto considering pulling their goalie at that point. 2:32 left in this hockey game. Red Wings up by 1, 5-4. 31 shots for the Red Wings, 26 for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You gotta get those game times tomorrow, the championship game.
I think it's 4 o'clock.
We'll have to get that information for you, but
Well, regardless of what the times are, we know that Mr. Cal's going to set the face-off times. That's just what he does.
Well, here's a man with 2 goals, including the go-ahead goal, Pearson.
Are you comfortable with the 4 o'clock face-off tomorrow, Ken, or would you like to change it?
The later the better. 2:24 to go. Crowd on the edge of their seats here.
They definitely are. This has been a good hockey game. Both teams have had phases where they've dominated this game. Toronto, it looked like Toronto did everything but tie the game up earlier in the third period, but the Red Wings have regrouped, and now we're starting to take the play to the Leafs.
Icing the call against Toronto with 2:16 to go. Again, the Red Wings fighting their way from behind in this hockey game. They scored 2 goals in that second period. They were trailing 4-2 and scored 2 quick goals at the end of the period to tie it up, and they get the go-ahead goal here in the third. The championship game tomorrow is at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. All right, great. Thanks, Ken.
All right, the Leafs. We're going to see everything from them. Their goaltender is still in goal, Scott. Hallwell got it to Robertson now. Up across the line. The Leafs misfire. That net's empty. Over the line. Hirose with the empty net.
Oh, he shot it high.
Oh, just off the stick of a Leaf player, Korshkov, and that was going in, but it was off his stick plate. Perhaps a break for the Maple Leafs. Wings were trying to end it. 6 attackers on the ice. We'll see the best from them with a minute and a half to go. Sider after it for Detroit. Tried to stick it forward. The Leafs hold it in. Now it comes out to center ice, and Toronto will have to regroup at their own line. Robertson fumbled the puck. Lucas Savages with the open net. Drops it back to Pearson. Oh, it's blocked. Rebound. Scores! That's the hat trick for Pearson. His first shot was blocked. He follows up to score the goal to make it 6-4 Detroit, and that'll do it. 1:17 to go.
He did say, Chase Pearson, that if he started to score, we could call him Peach. So I think with a hat trick.
He did say that? He did.
Said if we're going to call him Peach, he's going to have to start scoring.
Well, it looks like he's going to be Peach for the rest of this tournament.
Peach
at
Pearson
least.
now.
3 goals on the night. This one comes at 18:43, and the Red Wings appear to be going to the championship game against the Dallas Stars tomorrow. That's a huge goal.
It was a huge goal, and I would expect that the Leafs are going to pull their goaltender again with 1:17 left in this third period.
Chase Pearson, born in Georgia. We nicknamed him Peach, and he's got the 3-goal hat trick here tonight.
Right, I saw him yesterday. As I was saying earlier, the Red Wings visited the Cherryland Humane Society yesterday, and really did bond with the animals. And I actually promised Gregor McLeod that if I did mention it, he wants to say hi to his dog Deke.
Oh, Deke, that's a cute dog name.
A little Deke, but I guess Deke is some tiny little bred. He said he loves him. He's a great dog.
He's a little dog.
But anyway, I talked to Chase. I said, we have a nickname for you. I want to know if you like it. And he goes, Peach. He goes, I know. My family listens, and they told me. He goes, I don't know about it. But said, you're smooth. And he said, listen, if I start scoring, you can call me Peach.
Well, you'll have to tell him. Maybe that was the good luck for this game.
Right, well.
I'm a little bit upset no one threw a hat on the ice when he scored that hat trick.
Yeah, but I think now what, our hat's like $50 a pop. I don't think you're going to be throwing them. Yeah, right.
All right, the goaltender, Ian Scott, is still between the pipes. He's looking on. There he goes to the bench for the extra attacker. 2-goal lead for the Red Wings. Minute 5 to go in the third period. 6-4 Detroit. Veleno squeezed it out to center ice. Minute to go. Kevin Halme plays it across the line to Brazeau, going wide into the Red Wing zone. Brazeau in the corner. Turned it over to Giovanni Smith, and he'll play that puck all the way down the ice. Will it go far enough for the icing? It will.
Yeah, it will.
And it's an icing call against Detroit. 46.6 seconds to go in the game. 6-4 Detroit.
Well, the tribunal where the scouts sit overlooking the Detroit goal in this case, as soon as the Red Wings scored that empty net goal, cleared out. Probably going to watch Monday Night Football.
Boy, the Red Wings really have played well here, and they fought their way back. And again, scoring tons of goals in the first 3 games of this tournament. Here come the Wings with the empty net. Pearson with a feed to Veleno. He scores. He buried it. That's his 5th goal of the tournament. Pearson, who already had the hat trick, feeds Veleno with the empty netter, and that'll do it. It's 7-4 Red Wings.
Pearson, Loggins, Romeo are my 3 stars in this game. I'm going to give Peach number 1.
You look at Sean Romeo, and when the Leafs were on the attack and throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him, he made the big stay.
Right. He did. He really did.
He made some really key plays that even holding on to the puck was a huge play when the Red Wings needed to make that change. It's just been pivotal.
And for someone who is from The Ohio State University to be that heads up, it's really a testament to
Again, everyone listening, Art's a Michigan alum, if you didn't know that.
And you think he's got to earn his way in between the pipes for the championship game.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he plays tomorrow, and I do think he's a free agent invitee, much like Caden Folger did a couple of years ago. I think he's going to be at the main camp that begins Friday here at Center Ice Arena. The main camp being the Red Wing main camp when the fellas show up.
All right, face-off coming up in the Detroit zone. 13 seconds to go. La Rochelle with a shot blocked. Estefan with a drive. Save made. Romeo. Sticks get up. Right out in front. And 8 seconds to go.
Mo Sider just dropped his stick, and he is ready to go. This is the part where the officials really have to be conscious of what's going out on the ice.
Luckily, they only have 8.9 seconds left to keep them in check.
And Ben Simon did the smart thing there. He got Mo Sider off the ice.
From the draw, the puck stays in the circle. Now batted down low. Stotts with a centering attempt off the stick. Red Wings scooted out to center ice. Kral has it. There goes the horn. And the crowd cheers. The Detroit Red Wings are going to the championship game of the 2019 Prospects Tournament as they skate off the ice. 7-4 winners over the Maple Leafs. Detroit will take on the Dallas Stars tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the championship.
You know, I wouldn't blame the Leafs if they're sitting there right now going, how did we lose this game? They had long periods where they were the dominant team, but you've got to give the Red Wings credit. And the good thing is as we said earlier, secondary scoring is what carried Detroit today, and sometimes that's what you need, especially if you're going to make a championship run.
That's what we talked about in the pregame show. The big guns showed up, Veleno, Zadina, but we're saying the secondary scoring has to really help out those top scorers, and certainly they did tonight with Chase Pearson with the 3-goal hat trick. Troy Loggins had a pair of goals in the game, so definitely that worked for the Red Wings.
No, it certainly did.
I think that puts our tournament scoring total at 17 goals for the entire tournament, which is huge. Even though tonight 7 goals, 2 of those were empty netters, but that's a big number to be putting up on the board.
Well, certainly it is. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Toronto has 16. I think the Rangers, I'm not sure what their goal total was, but I think that they were leading the tournament in goal scoring, and I think they only added on to that today.
And Art, you talked about Chase, a.k.a. Peach Pearson, being your number 1 player of the game. Carly Johnston is with them right now. Carly?
That's right, Daniela. This guy had a big game, and not only that, you guys are headed to the championship tomorrow. How does that feel?
Great, yeah. It's I mean, these tournaments are always kind of a jumble of mix of players, and you got to get some chemistry right away, and I think we got better every game, but it feels great.
Like I mentioned, you had a big game, not just a goal. You had 3 goals, a hat trick for Chase Pearson. I mean, that's got to feel amazing coming into this Prospects tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I can contribute offensively, I'm obviously pretty happy with that, so it was nice to get a few goals there.
Going face-to-face against the Dallas Stars tomorrow, how are you going to keep the ball rolling?
Yeah, same way. I mean, I thought we competed well. Our first period was a bit sluggish, but we got better as the game went on, and I think that if we bring that compete in the second and third like we did today, we're going to be just fine.
Awesome. Well, best of luck. Looking forward to watching you play tomorrow in the championship game, you guys, tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. against the Dallas Stars. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Carly and Chase Pearson. What a game it was for him. We're hoping he can carry that one over into tomorrow. As Carly said, game starts at 5 o'clock. That means our stream will be going live at 4:30.
All right.
NHL Prospect Tournament stream presented by Huntington Bank. I'm Daniela Bruce, Art Regner, Ken Kale. Thanks, you guys, for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow.